All right, recording has begun. Now I can turn my webcam back on. Look at that, beautiful. Just for the not for audience, from the thousands of viewers we have online watching our recordings. Session 13 of Act 3. Last we left off, our other group of intrepid adventurers had made their way just barely past the two towers and gate guarded by animated armors of the elves, and have managed to make themselves political prisoners, which in this instance is the best outcome. But we'll see where that goes. I believe both groups were at the point where it was essentially time for a long rest before we set out for the fun activities that we're going to be taking part in today, particularly in the Feywild, I believe, since Brendan will not be joining us. So, shall we pick up the morning after slumber?
We slept?
Theoretically. I haven't pulled
Sure.
the trigger yet, but that's why I asked. So much as I recall, last we discussed, we were ready to take a long rest, and tomorrow morning, dealing with this spell would begin. Unless there's anything anyone else wants to do before we tick the clock and move on. Silence isn't necessarily an answer.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay. Cool.
In the game.
Okay. That was not clear. At all.
That was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to eat breakfast in real life.
Okay.
I be doing that sometimes.
I think we've finally made it to Monday, if we're going through with this long rest.
Yeah, the only thing I could think to do is I guess a religion check before bed or during sleep or something.
Mm-hmm. Very well. Could also recruit fake Grodger. Oh, I'm gonna put Grodger in quotation marks.
For some reason, I thought you were making a religion check to go to sleep. I was like,
Yeah, you know how that insomnia.
Sometimes, I be feeling that sometimes. I do be feeling that sometimes.
I'm like, can I go to sleep? No. Alright.
Alright, well, I'm ready for the religion check.
Nope, don't worry about the religion check.
No worries about that religion check.
Yeah.
You have difficulty sleeping. You fall asleep eventually, but for some reason you're plagued with anxiety that there's gonna be an enemy that you need to overcome tomorrow. You don't really know what that means, but you got like that gut feeling like blood's gonna be spilled. So, have a good night. And after that premonition, extremely vague premonition. I'm guessing you're still sleeping in the house, or are you in the camp? I never really asked. Still have the guest room that Dumbly Dun left for you, but you don't have to use it now that you have a fully fledged camp.
No, I think it doesn't look
I think
good.
not good for optics. Agree. Alright, in which case, you can all recover the things that I know that you probably didn't use since last long rest anyway. I think everyone should be at full HP, all spell slots. No nonsense going on there. Gonna need it, according to the premonition. Hehe.
I don't even know if it's true, so...
You don't know if it's true, but you have a feeling.
I don't know if I'm trusting. I trust
It's not guaranteed.
based off of what somebody said before the camera started rolling.
Listen, all I'm saying is what a certain somebody said before the camera started rolling, just because I have it planned doesn't mean it's going to happen. You guys could pull any number of wild cards on me, but...
That's not canon.
Oh,
Whatever
I'm holding a gun with the hostage's head, and I'm like, just because I planned for it, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. I mean, who knows? I'm going to get a little little
Who knows if I'm
quirky.
gonna execute the hostages? Make it a little quirky. Make it a
I might
little
kill somebody else.
quirky.
I'm back, by the way.
Yeah, I
Oh,
heard.
really?
Welcome
Wow.
back, by the way.
We all just slept, and now it's
All right, is it
Monday
hey
at
y'all or
7
hey y'all?
a.m.
Hey, y'all.
It's hey all, obviously. Now, moving on.
Hey, y'all. Scott here.
There's one thing of note that we didn't cover, and it's the fact that, and it's largely because I think we've just been busy dealing with lots of things, but only one of the groups was checked in on, and that group was immediately retrieved because they were done, but they were the only diplomatic group that was actually checked in on, shall we say?
Yeah.
So, just putting that out there as something to make sure.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to add them to my sendings, which is becoming increasingly long.
It is becoming increasingly long.
Yeah, you know what they invented at this point? This is when the telephone operator was invented.
This is
Yeah, literally.
So they could deal with the calling process.
All right. This. Hello, ChatGPT, my beloved.
What?
Oh yeah, I resolved all of the NPC quests with ChatGPT.
I was there. It was funny.
He was there, and it was funny. It knocked it out of the park with the first one. I was so shocked, and then they slowly got lamer and lamer, and I had to be like, no, you can't do that. Do this, and
I
he'd be
mean,
like, and
The thing is,
basically,
yeah,
it was
let me
teamwork.
translate.
ChatGPT and I worked on it together.
Link to Sidon, Trevor to ChatGPT.
What?
He wants ChatGPT to do a fanfic.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, Trevor, something. We should probably. I'm not sure if I didn't think about the fact that we had gone from Sunday, but now we're going into Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get any updates from any of my usual people on Sunday.
That's true.
I didn't do your daily sendings.
Didn't do your daily sending.
And the lunar.
No, we said those were built in.
What were built in?
The
Extended
Osnek,
of settings.
Artemis, Crenshaw, Clerk, those were supposed to be every day.
Oh, you mean they just happened but off screen because we didn't get to it?
Yeah, so I'm saying we'll have to come up with.
We could do that. That's gonna be quite the task. If so, I'm gonna ask someone else to help me type stuff out as I'm talking. If we're
We don't
doing
have
those
to.
updates.
We don't have to do it now. It's just
Also true.
It was something that we did say in game that it was established that he does these every day.
Yeah. What I'm trying to remember, I don't know if my dates got off, but I'm kind of just putting the hammer down and saying it's Monday. I don't know if it's off or not. There was a point where I forgot to track the dates from like session 5 to session 9.
Well, because part of me feels like it was all one long day on Saturday, and
I think Saturday was a long day and Sunday was too. Like both of them were very involved.
because of that, I think we didn't register that a day had passed. That's why we didn't do the
Probably.
news on Sunday. So we can always do that retroactively. Because at least for the first few people, we had said that if they don't hear from him, something's wrong.
Right. Yeah, alright, I'll look at what we have. Most of these are not super critical. If we're just looking at the 6, Osnek, Artemis, Crenshaw, Clark, and Zardoris, they can be updated later.
And then he usually does the thing to hear from Bloppletup and
Yeah.
hear from the other parties every day, checking with Grodger and so on.
Grodger's in jail and hasn't moved.
Yeah, I'm trying to roll
Anything
doubles,
interesting.
but it's hard.
Not working. And I can tell you Bloppletup and Dweeby won't have any updates. They're getting to the point, I think, where they're about to split, but they probably arrived into Namir and are settling and figuring out their splits. But they've had an extremely uneventful few days, which is good for them, ideally, because they're traveling. But no news to report other than location updates. At some point, I'm going to have to go back and do an audit of the timeline and make sure that things happen where I'm thinking they happened, but...
It's been so long since I've seen Bloppletup.
I know. He's in a faraway land. He's gonna return soon-ish, hopefully. But yeah.
He's in a Walmart. Go to the exit.
No. So yes, we can kind of do the sendings later because they're not mission critical right now. But we should
Yeah.
keep note of them. I'll probably do those out of session.
That's what I'm thinking. And what you can do is if there's anything pressing, you can just
Yeah, and I don't think there is. I mean, Artemis might have updates on the front of, hey, Ravenna just left and is like going to the Feywild, presumably. Things are weird beyond
I think
guard.
because now I do know Rainy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna add her to the sendings for today.
Yep, you can do that.
Um,
I don't know where Rainy's allegiances lie at all.
and smart fella.
Haven't checked her character alignment. Almost don't want to right now. Don't have no idea. No idea.
And smart fella had said he's not a fan of the zombie lady. So
What about
I
zombie
did say
lady?
that.
All hail the corporations.
smart fella had said that. So he's probably wanting to check in on what's going on there too.
What did Smartphone say? I'm not catching this at all.
No, he
So
doesn't
we're on
like zombie killer.
Oh, I did not. Yeah, I did not put together. We were talking about Cagliari at all. I don't see her as a zombie. Doesn't eat people yet. Does she eat people, Jacob?
Boy, I mean, if given the chance.
Yeah.
I was looking over
jury's out.
the
Jury's out on
servants
that
of the
front.
castle list, and he notices a couple of them are missing.
May
Or
not have taken
conveniently
some of them's arms
crossed out.
off. May or may not have flame grilled a few of them. Yeah. All right. So, are there sendings that we want to cover now? Then.
Yeah, his mom. Not Crenshaw. His mom, the other party members, meaning Roger, Bloppletop, Roger, Bloppletop. He's also going to want to check in on Rainy and Smart Fella.
Ooh, I can cheat. I'm gonna say on Sunday you didn't get a response from your mother.
He cheated.
I did cheat.
That means I'm going to have to get 2 on Monday.
He cheated. I'm opening up balloons.
All right.
You just add another message every day until she responds. So annoying. Mom, mommy, mama. Up to the 25 word limit, then you send another one.
Mm-hmm. But it's like, what time in the Feywild now? Like very early, like...
Like 7 a.m. Monday morning.
No, that's not early.
Okay. Fine. That's excellent. All right. On Monday morning, today, your mother apologizes for being indisposed yesterday. Says, activity here. Ravenna has left for the Cairo Plateau. Xerxes is keeping me in the dark. Be on guard. Does that satisfy you?
Not quite, because technically she owes me one from the day before. But anyway,
He leaves a bad review.
Bad review on Yelp.
yeah.
1 star.
And then Rainy and Smart Fella. Yeah,
Guess I'm probably gonna have to.
I can always give myself something from Siobhan later.
It's true. I do have updates for Siobhan that I want to go over that are going to be relevant after this session.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably an out-of-session thing. I've decided to some extent that because this isn't a TV show, we can do whatever we want out of session. Gaps that some people know and other people don't. It's whatever. I don't care. So, yeah. Take advantage of the unique storytelling properties of D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So, Rainy, I'm guessing this isn't a basic check-in. So...
I guess I would say Rainy, status update. This is Malachi. Keep this communication private. I've heard you're going to Cairo Plateau. Who with? And can you sabotage?
So what point would she receive this message?
Like potentially. This is where things get interesting.
Would she have not received this yet as of when we...
As of when we left off the last session, yes. I need to roll because.
Well, so that's where
Okay.
I think the confusion. I mean, it's whatever. I would have definitely asked this on Sunday, but it is Monday.
It is.
So.
You want to ask it on Sunday? I can just move this back.
Yeah, I would have asked it after I heard from Smartfella on Saturday.
On Sunday, it's a little easier. If it's in the morning, that's
Mhm.
before. Although, well, you can't really ask this on Sunday because you wouldn't have gotten the information that they're going to the plateau. Would you?
Yes, because Smartfella told me they were going there on Saturday night.
Okay.
The Krill Plateau.
Mhm.
That's what he knows it as. This is where I needed to keep better track of my time more.
In fairness, the Sundays are helping me keep track of time. So
That they are and they aren't. I'm trying to figure out if I botched one of the dates at some point.
Botchtron.
Because I don't know, did they leave for the Cairo Plateau on Saturday night or on Sunday
they
night?
left on Sunday morning.
They definitely left, like, they long rested before they flew out. I thought they flew out in the evening. They didn't long rest. They just left because they met in the evening in the asylum and determined, yeah, we can just go for it, I think. But they arrived at the Cairo Plateau in nightfall.
Yeah.
That's where it gets funny, hee hee.
Don't you call me funny. Hee hee.
That would be Sunday night. I gotta go to session 11 and see what happened there.
This way you never introduce time travel into D&D.
Clearly.
Mhm.
Also why you don't run 4 different parties at the same time.
Yeah.
Or
that was-
this
or
is the
mini
grave
D&D
I've dug
campaigns.
for myself.
Yeah, but one of the parties has a tech deck, and I'm not saying which one.
Session 11 was the Feywild planning session. That's all that happened there. And that took place on Sunday. Session 10 was potentially the time. Session 10 was on Sunday night. They were ready to go from the asylum to Cairo Plateau. That's what it was. On Sunday night, they're ready to go to the plateau. Which means that day is when they were discussing the logistics of their mission. So on Saturday, I think you probably reached out to Smartfella later in the day.
Okay, so it's not the morning, not the morning.
I don't
Gotcha.
think we didn't keep track of what the times were. I think literally in the session it was a mid-session contact to Smartfella
It was.
because we got
Mhm.
details from Siobhan,
Mhm.
and then Siobhan gave you details, and then Smartfella gave you details. That was like late afternoon.
Mhm.
So, and that all checks out, I believe. Does it? Because that's still not. As far as I understand, they were briefed the same day that they departed. They just departed that night. Or that's what I thought. I think they discussed it over the course of 2 days. Because I think it it was definitely brought up Saturday, and then on Sunday they laid out the plan, but it took until nightfall for them to get organized and get Elithor over to the asylum. That's what took all the time. So all of this to confirm that yes, you can message Rainey on Sunday morning, in which case what she would have responded with is this would be before the first briefing, but before a lot of the details were in.
Just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm saying don't worry about it because I only was going to message her after I spoke to Smart Fella, so it would have had to be that evening as well.
It could have been that evening, or, I mean, it depends. Now you're getting into tricky territory because this is an addendum to the normal schedule list that we agreed upon. So it does matter when you contact her. It's just feasible for you to have contacted her any time between Saturday night and now, pretty much.
I just want to make sure I'm giving you information that she would have known at the time that you messaged her.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the only thing that's like for sure is that it's after Smart Fella told me that stuff about the plan.
Yeah.
So anything between that time, I'll take whatever.
Yeah. If you have the notes and if I have the cognizance to know what you knew at what time. Because that
I do not
don't
have
know.
the notes nor the cognizance.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think there was very little information given to Rainey, to be honest. Sable was briefed on...
I can tell him we're going to the Cairo Plateau.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell him who we're going with.
That's true.
And that I probably won't be able to sabotage unless I get I get a couple of party members on side, because Illithor is probably going to side with Sable, and Sable's the one I'd be sabotaging. So
on Saturday, your meeting was with Cagliari, Sable, Smartfella, and Lionel. And at that point, you didn't know if Lionel would be joining you or not.
That was
the Saturday meeting where Xerxes was kind of.
So this is before Xerxes.
This was before you had a second meeting with Xerxes where they laid out the final plan, and you were given basically instructions, and Sable got Elithor as a contact and assembled all of his eggs together, and then Ravenna was added. Now I think Saturday is the day that Ravenna also shows up and is like, "Hey, can I go?" So you definitely knew that Ravenna was joining you.
All right.
So the known members would be Rainey, Cagliari, Sable, Smartfella, Ravenna. Lionel was a question mark.
All right. What's Sable's title? It's not investigator. Inquisitor. There you go.
All right. While you work on that, was there another sending you wanted to do?
Yeah, I'll say no for now.
Okay. Monday sendings, the other ones we can skip as well?
We can always do that at the out of session.
Okay. So, at this point, after you conclude your sendings, which we have technically not yet done, but whatever, I gotta find... Here it is. Malik enters your tent. I don't know who's in your tent. We should probably decide.
My wife.
Your wife is in your tent, and that's it? All right. You and your wife. Malik enters your tent and sees that you've just finished setting and says, "Oh, Malachi, sorry, am I disturbing something?"
No, it's just keeping everything straight. It's a little bit confusing.
Indeed. Are we ready to execute this plan? I'm a little muddled as to exactly what we need to do. This is out of my wheelhouse.
Yes, I think we're ready to do everything. Can gather the council. But before that, uh, I'd like to just take a walk around the camp and just see how things are going.
Okay. Sure.
After the issues yesterday, I just want to make sure that everything is running well and that people know that who I am and that I'm a visible presence here in the camp.
Sounds like a good idea. I'll make sure we have the materials we need, and did I summon Vitrus?
Yes, you can actually. Yes, and can you just send Vesper? I'll have him walk around with me.
Yes, sir. In which case, Vesper is retrieved for your walk. Malik goes to get the resources that you were gathering, as well as Vitrus. Roll a perception check with advantage if Vesper would like to help you as you walk around the camp.
Yeah, sure, I'll help.
$16.
Okay. As you walk around the camp, there is an audible degree of chatter. Pretty much all the men are already up and ready to go. It's very regimented. Every tent has fallen into a strict schedule. And currently, many of the men are eating breakfast and discussing quite loudly. A lot of them seem to be on edge, and they're not necessarily afraid to make that known. You overhear one of them say something along the lines of, "Well, there's some magic shenanigans going on, but I don't understand it all. I don't know what use I'm gonna be. If my life's on the line for some magic BS, I just don't know how I feel about that. Things are getting crazy."
And are there people just around the camp just training and so on?
Yes, a few of them are doing routines, but right now it's like food time. So
Okay.
it's largely just circles of men around little campfires.
I'm just making sure that the army is actually,
The army is actually army-like at this
and
moment.
because I don't want them to rest. Still, can I go into the tent where I hear the grumbling? It's like a mess hall type camp.
Sort of. What's actually happened is each regiment has like a tent or a few series of tents, and outside is where they have their campfire and their cookery. And they're not even inside the tent, they're sitting in a circle outside.
Okay.
There are maybe a few men in the tent, but it's a largely outdoor activity right now. There aren't many men in their tents anymore.
So as they're all talking and stuff, I kind of like, with my head, I just motion to Vesper that I'd like to walk by there.
Okay.
All right.
You getting closer to listening on the conversation?
No, I'd like to actually go in.
Oh, okay. You go in, and the men quickly calm down. One of them says, "Well, I'm sure that Malachi bloke hasn't figured out. Whatever. Wizard, sorcerer, I don't know what he is." And then he turns around. He's like, "Sir!" And then all the men kind of awkwardly stand up and cease their conversation.
At ease, gentlemen, at ease. I was just stopping by, just making the rounds. Everything seems to be looking good. However, I understand that there might be some concerns.
Yeah. Give me one sec, because now I have to find the guy. Separate from this guy? Yes. Alright, so seeing that you've approached, the men are about to begin talking, but then their commander enters. Do a history check to see if you remember this guy. The captain, but you haven't had interaction with him before. See if you know his name.
15.
Alright, you definitely recognize him. You're pretty sure he goes by Captain Gilmore. Red-headed guy with a bushy beard. And he walks right in and says, "Attention! Gentlemen, you're in the presence of your general. Sir, is there anything I can do for you? Cab Piscus is at your service.
So did I remember his name wrong?
Gilmore. You don't remember his first name, but it's Captain Gilmore.
Okay, he said Cad Piscus, so I was like, is that his name or
No,
is
Camp.
that his name?
Camp Piscus. That's like the name of their division.
Gotcha.
So it's their unit.
Best in what?
Captain Gilmore.
Cat bits?
Yes, sir.
Good to see you. Good morning.
It is.
I was just doing a quick walk around, and I just wanted to hear from you all. Any concerns? I believe that sometimes the greatest wisdom comes from those who are closest to the ground. So,
Well, Captain Gilmore turns to his men and says, "Well, men, permission to speak freely." And immediately standing up is the guy that was running in his head what your name was, or what your type of magic was. He was debating. He goes, "Sir, I just wanted to apologize. I meant no harm. I didn't want to talk behind your back.
I just lift my hand and kind of like wave it in front of my face, and I'm like, it's fine. Magic is confusing.
Well, yes, sir. That was actually a large portion of, I think, our unit's concern is this being the Feywild and hearing rumors and some of the events that have been going on in the camp. Is we're not sure what to expect. So we're good fighters, but we've had to deal with a lot of strange things, and there's been rumors going around about what's happening with the upcoming preparations and with a spell that's going to be cast. I think it would be good if we could get some clarity, sir.
I'm gonna hold my hand up in front of my face as if I'm thinking of how to answer, but I'm actually casting message
Okay.
to Vesper. I'm gonna say, if there's any leakage of information amongst us, we need to figure out where that is.
Me.
And then I'm going to go, yes,
Everyone.
with regards to our next courses of action, it will involve some level of magic, and to be fair, it is uncharted territory. However,
Respond to the message
yes, you can.
and say perhaps we should not explain further
Hmm.
in case it leaks out.
Yes. And I say, however, being in the Feywild, just about everything involves magic, if that's what you mean. However,
he looks kind of dumbfounded, like he's trying, but
I know I'm continuing.
yep, okay.
However, to the degree of what's expected of you all, exactly what has always been expected of you: to keep training, to constantly be sharpening your skills, to be ready. We are doing what we can to ensure that the playing field is tilted toward our favor. Does that clear anything up?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Anyone else?
Oh, the rest of the group remains quiet.
You all are doing excellent work. Thank you again. And trust me, the day is coming when we can sit peacefully and we can look back on these moments with fondness. But for now, we put our noses to the grindstone. And then he's going to walk off.
All right. Tailing slightly behind you is Captain Gilmore, who says, "Sir, if I could have a moment of your time."
Yes, absolutely. Is there anyone within 120 feet of me that I recognize?
Not particularly. Well, aside from the goof troop who has returned from their mission, is telling stories around their little camp to the other members of House Zara, former members of what has been designated the Winifred unit.
Okay, I was looking for somebody who could find the changeling for me.
I see. The changeling is not currently in sight.
Okay. All right.
Changeling is wherever Nick says the changeling is.
Go ahead, Captain Gilmore.
Well, I overheard the conversation, obviously, and I must say I understand your concern. In terms of, well, I saw it on your face. Leakage information. I know that we've been talking out in the open. One problem I think that is occurring is that captains are not precisely informed on what is and isn't confidential. Now, I do know that Malik has been briefing his officers, the, look up what they actually are real quick. Majors, I think? No, his colonels. Men from Koenig Greek. And so far as I understand, they're not all in agreement on what is and isn't confidential. I've tried to keep my lips sealed, but some of the men from other units have been whispering, per se. I think it would potentially benefit us to be very clear and explicit in terms of what is and isn't confidential, so that can flow down the chain of command.
This is useful information, and thank you, Captain Gilmore, for your input.
Yes, sir.
That's an easy fix, and I'm grateful for it.
Should be a simple misunderstanding, sir. I'm sure we can resolve it.
Excellent. Dismissed.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to turn to Vesper. As far as I was concerned, when we spoke, it was just us, and so it means that I need to tell my brother that he has to ensure that everything he communicates is confidential. Is that right?
Are you asking me, or are you asking Vesper?
Both.
Didn't we? Out of character, didn't we call a meeting of the captains to explain?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
That did happen, but I don't think there were discussions on confidentiality during that.
Well, did we discuss the spell during that?
No, that was before. This was a plan that was laid out fully. The people present for the spell conversation were at a minimum Malik, Orion, possibly Danuk, possibly Beta.
Yeah, no, they were there
Pretty
too.
much the major generals and brigadier generals.
Okay.
Right.
I feel like we have enough to deal with without having to wonder if there's spies in the camp.
It would be difficult for them to get messages in and out unless they are themselves magical. And as far as we know, none of them are.
Speaking of magical and spies, I've been thinking about that Grodja lookalike. He may prove useful.
I agree.
Let's find him.
Fortnite paradrops in.
Let's go find him.
Now here's the question. Nick, does the Grodger look like even still look like Grodger right now?
Sure.
Okay. What is the Grodger lookalike doing?
I don't know, probably like hitting two rocks against each other.
On the edge of camp? Alright.
He just like Grouger for real.
Just like he studied his mannerisms. And it didn't take him long to nail it. Alright, Malachi.
What are you talking about? It took years of practice.
Yeah. You
over the course of months.
You circle your way around the camp, looking for Grodger in the interior, but end up finding him on the rocks, just on the cliff face beyond to the edge of the plateau, banging two rocks together. Right, Nick? Is that okay? Great. That's what you see.
Actually, he's a goblin.
You also run into
character.
Crunkmeyer. Crunkmeyer is sweeping the floor. He's just moving dirt from one place to another, so you're not really sure what's going on there, but
Keep up the good work.
Grodja 2. How are you doing, sir?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Everything.
doing great. I mean,
So I was wondering,
wondering.
what do you perceive to be your allegiances here?
They knew they would come for me eventually. It's a matter of time. I'm on your side. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna get them. The bad guys, I mean.
Alright. Alright.
I'm looking for exits now.
The bad guys, I mean.
Are his eyes doing that? Like, do any of us
Yes.
that?
You're looking for exits?
Do any of us notice that? Like, he's looking that shifty?
I need to be ready to run.
I mean, probably. I guess you can do an insight check. Is that fair? Contested by Roger's deception.
Do a shifty tech.
I do have a passive insight of 20.
He knows.
Yeah.
I know that your primary allegiance is to the original Roger, but you're here in our camp. You're eating our food. You are, for all intents and purposes,
Like a dead rat next to him
living
that he's obviously been eating.
living as part of our people, I want to say. And so it would just be another step for you to pledge your allegiance to the group and be a part of our army.
Mhm.
So I don't want to pressure you into any decision, but I'd like to know where you lie.
I've never thought about it. There's been an extreme set of circumstances that have led me to this moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you find yourself in the Feywild with us. So
You have me at knife point here. I mean,
no, if you don't want to be a part of this, you are free to leave.
am I?
Are you?
Am I?
For reference, this is what I currently have for this guy. In case anyone's wondering. So, yeah.
I forgot that one of Trevor's streams wasn't just his face.
Yeah.
So I went, what does he mean he's got something?
I mean, I got something.
Okay, I do think you could serve a great
Not dirty
purpose
enough.
and be quite but this arrangement could be beneficial to both of us, you being a part of what we have going on here.
Okay.
In exchange
Like
for sitting here,
what?
protection and board and for you, and the Feywild is a dangerous place. In exchange, your ability to, well, can you only look like Groja?
Rules of a changeling.
You can change.
You should just ask the DM. DM says you can look like
On
anyone
this-
that you've seen.
On this Pastel website, it says I can look like anyone. I look like John Travolta now.
No, that one doesn't fly though.
Fine. Okay.
All right.
Marshall Mathers.
There.
Eminem?
Is this what you want? Dirty man.
He's so dirty.
All right. Well, just we may need you to help, especially when it comes to infiltration. You could be very useful.
Okay.
Just think about it.
Oh, jeez. I'm thinking about it.
Well, once you do,
Never seen again.
oh, is he disappearing?
I mean, I can't disappear in front of your eyes. I don't got abilities like that.
Okay. Well, we have to be going. There's some pressing matters to which we must attend. But if you do decide that you're leaving, I would appreciate if you come and tell us first.
Okay. I can do that.
Fine. He actually lost his mind. That makes sense. They did things to him. Goes.
Yeah, so I think I don't remember what was the last thing we settled on when it came to the spell.
So you have the materials. Kind of had to make a decision in terms of you could potentially cast it, but it's complicated. And depending on where you want to go to cast it, it's going to be difficult to get Vitras there. But it would be more convenient to not cast it here so that you can change the area that it's covering. So
Weren't we discussing him potentially teaching Malachi the rites or something like that? Or the spell?
That was on the table. But that's not an easy thing. That's a very involved process. That was the trade-off. But then it would allow you to cast it elsewhere after you learn it and potentially have a more effective.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if the camp's functioning and everything seems to be going well.
And are on shift as dictated previously.
But we also have a number of civilians in this camp, correct?
Not really. People who were civilians have been trained. Those are the peasants. Generally, your unit makeup is predominantly soldiers. There are a few units that were peasants. And they're loosely integrated into the different units. Piscus has quite a few pennants, Lapis, Winifred Leo. They basically evenly distributed the untrained men with the trained men so that they could be trained up. But you do have...
Well, I'm wondering about people who could, farm and...
They could easily. There's men in each unit who could essentially be given farming duty. That's what they were doing before. Those are the peasants.
I think that would be helpful since Vitras is letting us stay here. We might as well start seeing what we can... I don't know if that makes sense. If we planted it, would we even be here long enough to eat it?
Hard to say.
I think it's worth a shot.
You have druids who can potentially supplement them.
This is true. Yeah.
I think you should discuss that in character after thinking this out.
For the most part, I was just thinking out loud.
Well, I know you're thinking in character, but what I'm saying is there are other elements where if you want to pursue this line of thought, you're now going to need to talk to people because I can't give you the other information I have.
Okay. So. Okay. All right. I'm gonna tell this idea to Vesper.
Okay.
What idea? I was not listening that closely.
You didn't say it yet.
I was contemplating the possibility of having some of the lesser trained men do some more agricultural work. helping us generate our own food.
Right. Well, that was kind of the point of moving to this area, right? Was the
Mhm.
fields.
Now, I don't want to take any of Vitrus's.
Right.
Sure.
But clearly, at least this area is fertile.
Yes.
So presumably, other places would be, unless he's done some sort of magic to make it fertile. In which case, we could potentially ask him how to do that. But
It's a lot we're asking of him. The more we ask him, the more imperative it is that we find these archives. So, I say we.
yes, I think food is a big concern. Have we looked into hunting at all? I know that things here are scary, but
That's a good idea. If
perhaps we could ask the Nobog or the Raven what might be good eating.
Mm,
You recall Vesper, man of perfect memory. Zyle
Within a month.
Grismo from Terrabor is a hunter/ranger from a small village.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone from the material would the material plane be the right word? I don't know if anyone from not the Feywild would know that well, but yeah, we can ask about.
He's your literal only hunter.
Great.
So you have lizard folk, but they're the cooks. They may have experience, but Zyle is actually a hunter, and he's one of the people who's miscellaneous and unassigned to any unit. So he's kind of floated, same as Solomon David, who's a fisher.
Yeah,
also
we
just
have
been chilling.
Well, we put him on like food prep duty or something like that.
Yes.
We were trying to train people, and I
Yes.
remember he was a part of that.
wasn't there a river not too far from here?
It's not too far, but it's not too close either. I'd have to pull up the Feywild map here. There is a river that runs north to south, and that's the river that you would follow to the archives. It is, oh no, it's substantial. It's like 20 some miles away at a minimum. So it's not a small distance.
Didn't we cross a bridge
Yeah.
up north a little bit? What was that over?
You did. The bridge that you cross north leads to the fertile glowing cliffs that you navigated through with Dariah, and that's where the.
But what's it a bridge over? Is it just a chasm?
There's
no water there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Water. Death chasm.
But wasn't there a troll under there?
Yeah, there was. He lived like on the bridge, not on the ground under the bridge.
Yeah.
Because there is no ground under the bridge.
And then we got to a place where there was some water because that's where I met the unicorn.
Santacorn, yes. There are lakes. Like, that area is extremely fertile and extremely magical. It's also extremely dangerous because it's basically just competing wildlife. So you could absolutely hunt there, but it's not like it's no small man's playground.
All right, so let's nail down some stuff for the spell. Maybe, you know what, Vesper, if you can get that together, if you can get the food situation put together, maybe talk to the relevant people. I will talk to Vitrus. I'll grab FS as one of our other spellcasters, and perhaps he can teach us the spell together. Maybe together it gives us a better chance of learning the spell, if possible.
Okay. Well, all right. With the food stuff's quest, I did assign Glammy Stone Drinker to keep logs of rations.
Okay.
And Kane Costa to gather data, which I believe
Kane
was
Costa. Interacted with him before.
So those two, can I check in with them and see what the food situation is like? If we really need to get farming going, or
yes, you can. You want to do that at high level summary style?
That's fine with me.
All right, high level summary style. Kane has been trying to track consumption of food, and the biggest problem is that it's been irregular for a while. It's normalized now that we're in a routine, and it's pretty much been 2 to 3 square meals a day. Different units have decided their own practices, but they've been rationing based on what's assigned from the level of colonel. And I think the colonel that's been basically determining the rations, because they had to go to someone to organize this and get their approval, was not Cassius Finch. It's the other one whose name I don't remember. I gotta go to the roster. There are 2 colonels currently, because one of them got demoted. Victor Verkum. Victor Verkum has essentially given the order to get everybody organized in terms of meals and everything. What it actually means is quantifying the amount of food that's been eaten. It's substantial. So with 300 men over the course of 2 days, you're down to about like 1,000 rations. So, and that's essentially one day's worth of food. They can be stretched, and they have been stretched further, but it has gotten to the point where it's like, all right, we got a few days, and then we have to have something because we don't have much past that. Cooks haven't had much to cook and prepare. There's been a few pieces of meat from displacer beasts that's been gathered. Foraging is still a thing that has happened, and that's supplemented it. But they've assembled some teams from that based on what Kyle has trained people to look for, but he's also a little bit out of his element, him and Liz, because Feywild. So they've had some encounters with displacer beasts where they just hightail it and get out of there. So it hasn't been super successful on a foraging trip. Kyle's the kind of guy who would just take them, but with Liz, it's like, let's not randomly risk our lives here to fight a giant panther, so with tentacles. So they've, as much as he thinks they could probably take it, they haven't engaged. And Solomon David has just been doing food prep. He hasn't really been able to fish. He's really eager to see if there's any lakes or anything nearby that he can start going through, but he hasn't gotten anyone's approval, and he wanted to talk to you about it. And then, yeah, Glammy has the account from everyone.
Cool.
1,000 rations, running short, basically.
Right.
Certainly enough displacer beasts in the area where if they can be reliably hunted, they'd be a great food source.
Is that the only wildlife?
It is the most reliably appearing wildlife. But obviously, they're predators.
That's a funny thing to say about the displacer beast.
Yes. The prey are extremely elusive because they have to elude the displacer beasts. The displacer beasts walk around proudly because they themselves don't really have many natural predators, aside from unicorns who don't really fight with them from what Kyle and Liz have observed, but they have their own stomping grounds, per se. There are...
I feel like hunting unicorns is a bad idea.
It is
so
probably a very
displacer
bad idea.
beasts
No.
be our best bet.
Now, there are prey.
Nothing wrong could go. We definitely don't have a friend, this unicorn.
The displacer beasts are carnivores, and they chase small to medium game. So Kyle has seen weird rabbit-ish like creatures, as well as deer with glowing horns. In addition to like frogs and other stuff, but that's venturing pretty far into like bodies of water, and that's entering the dangerous territory of the unicorn displacer beast stomping grounds.
So there is water nearby that we could try to fish?
It's in that place where we just talked about, where Santacorn was. That area, and that's quite a it's quite a trek up there. You have to go north above the bridge, trek through. It's like a few hours of a trip, and then you can get there. Totally doable in a day, but again, not incredibly safe. So what they've pretty much been doing is setting out light groups of foragers that are fast and can make quick getaways. But if they wanted to forage for a substantial amount of time, they'd probably need a substantial force because of the innate wildlife dangers.
Okay.
And then keep in mind, if you recall, you'll probably hear this story for the second time, but they lost someone while foraging, and they never found the body. And they don't know what happened to him.
But do we know who?
Yes. Thurman Hutchinson was someone who was killed by a displacer beast on foraging. I have, I think, 2 other names. Jake Paris was killed by a displacer beast. Ellsworth Wayne was killed by a displacer beast. Carl Patton from Clan Fellis was foraging and just straight up went missing.
Huh.
So, and it wasn't the kind of thing where it's like, oh, he just wandered off on his own. It's like he was in close proximity, they heard something, and then he was gone. So there's some other predator other than what Kyle's theorizing is that there's another predator other than a displacer beast that's hunting them.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Love that for us.
So that's all my updates on that front.
I mean, we know that the Ravens people are hunting displacer beasts.
They are. That's been a reliable food source.
I'm assuming you're meaning something other than that.
I am. If you want to take a full account from them, you could. Because they haven't had many superiors to talk to about it.
Wait, who would we talk to about it?
Kyle and potentially Liz.
Okay.
They've been the ones who've been foraging, but they're also not. They're not. They can hunt as well. You could potentially talk to Zyle too, because I can guarantee you that Zyle has made his way out to these parties, whether he's been invited or not. He's very loosely assigned. So, if you want to talk to any of them, they could give you accounts.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. High level or in depth?
We can just keep doing high level, keep it going.
Okay. Roll an insight check.
You're right. My dice are over there. All right. D&D Beyond. 15.
All right, I'm tasking you to write this down because now I'm getting into specifics and I don't feel like talking while I'm talking.
Yep.
It's somebody's job to do that now. All right, getting together the accounts, there were a couple days of foraging that were fairly eventful. One is where they ran into the nest of displacer beasts, and one at the cost of losing quite a few of the people that I named. The other was a little bit different, where Zyle jumped in after learning that they were going after displacer beasts and wanted to add one of those to his list of kills. And it was Zyle, Liz, and Kyle, as well as a few of the other men, including Carl Patton. But basically, Zyle, Liz, and Kyle were taking lead because the lizard folk are excellent trackers and have started picking up on the displacer beast patterns. And Zyle joined them and basically just asserted his way into leadership because of his experience. And the other men were following back. It was still a foraging mission, very much, and Kyle was trying to get Zyle to not engage with the displacer beasts, but they got into arguments about essentially where they're going and what they're doing. They generally kept on track, traveling north, gathering mushrooms that they have identified as good, berries that they have identified as good. At one point, Carl stepped on a branch, is what Liz says, turned back to look at him, and he was good. He kept walking. Looked a little shaken, but then they walked a little bit further forward, and then checking back on Carl while looking at the other men, he was just gone. Liz doesn't know what happens. Kyle swears that he saw something move towards Carl and was closer to Carl, and also swears that Carl gasped or something before he disappeared. By the time he turned, he was just gone. Zyle didn't see it, and afterwards attempted to investigate and concluded that there was nothing. There were no tracks. There was no animal that did this, and the kid had no tracks disappearing. So he's not necessarily ruling anything out, but he is firmly standing on the fact that this is not a normal predator that we've tracked, if this is a thing. It could be magic shenanigans. His current theory is that the kid just got transported to the material plane because he stepped in between the wrong set of trees. Happens.
Yeah. So, was it that the ground was hard enough where there might not have been tracks left, or was it
there were
was
physically
Carl
no
leaving?
tracks.
leaving footsteps, and then his
Carl-
footsteps just stopped.
According to Zyle, Carl was leaving footsteps. They tried to investigate the branch snapping because there were some brambles and branches on the ground. It was nothing crazy, but there were no other predator footsteps, and Carl's footsteps just stopped after it got to the point where he disappeared. There was nothing remaining. And Lyle
Great.
and Kyle confirm that. Liz and Kyle can also confirm that.
Isle.
Yeah. Lyle, Liz, and Kyle. Quite the handful. Mouthful.
Interesting. Did Malachi know Carl at all?
I doubt it. Carl was. Let me actually pull up his profile. Carl was like a nobody. Carl Patton was a peasant. So he was a forager because he wasn't particularly great at combat, so he was just assigned to foraging duty. And he was
So
in Unit
messaging
Phalanx.
is out of the question.
Probably.
Okay. Darn.
Yeah, the leader of Phalanx is Jack Stone, who's a tabaxi. So a lot of the men in his unit have been foraging because he has some experience on that front. But he himself hasn't gone out. He doesn't think it's a good idea. And
What is he the leader of? I'm sorry.
Unit Phalanx, F-E-L-E-S. It was named after him, essentially. Jack has actually been objecting to foraging and hunting because he thinks it's way too dangerous out here and thinks they need to be farming instead. And he's lost quite a few men, so he's not too happy.
Farming isn't something we can just start getting food from. It's going to take like a year. So
that's what Jack has questions about. But Jack has been reporting to Cassius Finch, who's been shutting him down. To a lesser extent, Archie. But Archie hasn't been here. Archie just got back. So Archie outranks them, I believe. Archie is Jack's immediate commanding officer, but he was not present. So Jack was reporting to Cassius Finch.
Okay. All right.
Anything else? That was a lot of information.
I'm good. Anyone else doing anything?
I think Malachi was going to do stuff, but I don't remember what it was now. And FS is probably wandering about as well.
Yeah, what's FS up
Malik
to?
certainly has Vitris by now.
I was saying I was going to grab, if FS doesn't have anything that he was planning on doing by himself, I was going to suggest that he and I try to learn the spell from Vitris with the time thing, because have a better chance at it with 2 spellcasters than one.
Very well. All right, well, Malik will retrieve Vitris.
Do we have any other spellcasters that we know of?
Yeah, not that you know of. Outside of...
the druids.
We have Infernus.
Garfield.
And Garfield. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. No, let's get Garfield for real.
Yeah. Don't sleep on Garfield. Garfield can show up.
Well, I was just saying, I don't know, is it the kind of spell that's arcane in nature, or is it the kind that I can get druids to help?
You'll have to find out.
Crunkmeyer is ostensibly a druid, but I don't know if we know that or if he's cooperative.
And that's amazing.
He's also a 90-year-old kobold, so.
All right, so where would you like to meet Vitris in discussion of this spell?
I mean, we can meet at his place. It's fine.
Cool. Take you into the dining room. Past the 2 guardians, who've been largely statue-like recently. All right.
I'd like
so-
to be present because even if I can't cast, I'll remember his instructions.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
could help jog people's memory.
That's probably a good idea. Anyone else should be on this meeting? Question mark.
We should actually just have some people to stand guard. I am now concerned about information leakages.
All right. Who do you want to stand guard?
Orion's trustworthy. Probably. I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I just didn't grab all of our top leaders. Malik isn't coming, so let's.
Yeah, and
let's get it right.
Infernus and Robin are still out there somewhere.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're pretty much patrolling in this case. In fairness, Robin Raven, the Rangers are watching the
Because
borders.
well, they've been also setting up like natural traps, right?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
Can Danuke cast spells? I mean, I know he's like draconic magic.
No, not quite. It's also a wormling.
But- Okay.
A lot to learn.
Oh, and he can stand guard.
He can stand guard. Not opposed to it. So. All right. In that case, high level. What's the votes?
We be voting?
Yeah, because now I'm debating doing this style. If you haven't noticed, is we can get into it or we can keep it high level.
Well,
We
this
have
one
this style.
with us, we may have to do more rolling and stuff with this. So,
Potentially, yes.
so I'd say we go into it.
All right. In which case, you enter the room, assigning your guards. Malik has informed Vitris what's going on, and Vitris says, "Well, so I am to understand we have all the materials needed, yes?
Mhm.
Lead of silk, oil, dirt from the material plane in the Feywild, enough gold to make sure we can cover it. I have my ritual knife and my ritual chalk as well as my hourglass. That is all we need. If we have those materials, I can begin explaining the process.
Right.
Is that acceptable?"
Yes. I just wanted to check one thing. Crap. Okay. Yes.
Well, there are a few ways we can do this. The first is that I must essentially deactivate the former spell that I had going to lock our times in sync. And then after that, we'd want to fairly quickly get our other spell up and running, because in that gap time, or the bridge that we need to create, metaphorically, will be out of our control. So I can't guarantee what exactly the time streams will be between the worlds at that time, so swiftness is a priority. Now, we could divvy up the labor so that one of us will deactivate the spell while the other is casting it. We simply do not want them to overlap, or that could cause serious problem. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, is Malik in this meeting?
Mm-mm.
Okay. That's what you gonna let out. Alright. So, Future says, so, are all of you magically inclined, or is it simply Malachi?
I point to FS and to Garfield, and I say if the nature of the spell is arcane, then these two are also fairly proficient.
Garfield speaks up and says, I have many years in the arcane arts, as I'm sure you can tell. Yes, I was wondering. I am curious to know whether we are in fact related. What in fact is your family name, sir? I regret to inform you it is not Dumbledore. It's Garfield Cataniels. I gotta write that down.
Please do, because I can't spell that.
Catan. Like settlers of Garfield Cataniels. Although I have not gone by my family name in many years. Tell me, Dr. Vitris, I am curious, if I may derail our meeting for a short while, Malachi.
Granted, go ahead.
If I may, Dr. Vitris, also please write this down. I'm not going to remember this. If I may, Vitris, may I inquire as to your age? Why, yes, of course. I know I look like a spring chicken, but I myself am 300 years old. I've been in this location for quite some time. You see, I
left the kerfuffle of old elfdom and the Eladrin at the young age of, say, 100 or so, and I've tried to keep track of the years. It is difficult, of course, but I can assure you I am somewhere around 300 years old. Been studying part of my time. My only regret in leaving the Eladrin is that I've lost access to much of the knowledge that I used to so enjoy studying. Of course, I took some of my own materials along with me, but, yes, 300 years old is the answer. I anticipate you've seen many more suns than I have.
Yes, that is the case. I believe I am nearing 1,000, though I couldn't tell you. I myself am in a similar boat as you. I left Elvendom around the age of 100. We have similar paths in that respect. Things were very chaotic for much of my time there, but I did get to study the arcane arts, and I remained connected to other elves after my initial departure as well. But that is a long historical tale for another day. Although if you practice the arcane arts in a way similar to I may be able to assist greatly in the execution of this spell.
Yes, that's very good. Essentially, we have two roles to fulfill. The first is the deactivation, and the second is the new spell. The deactivation should not be overly complicated. It's all a matter of meditation and timing. But at least one person should handle that. And I had planned on executing the new spell. It is quite a difficult ritual, though not impossible to learn. That would be your decision, I suppose.
Well, we were actually wondering if you could teach that to us, so that we might be able to perform the spell in different locations, or...
I could. I must say, when I casted the spell myself, I casted it from here, burned much of my gold to attempt to cover the area, for my casting element was not strong enough to give my spell the desired effect I had. I cast it from here. What that means is whoever needs to deactivate the spell will need to stay here. I could take on that role, in which case if you want to recast the spell elsewhere, you may. My only request is, assuming that I can teach you, of course, my only request is that you encapsulate this area from wherever you're casting your new spell. So I would prefer this area to remain stable as well. But I'm not sure what immense immediate consequence there is that.
And we hadn't figured out how much gold it would cost to do that.
Yes, it
Well-
would depend on the area you intend to cover.
Well,
If
when-
you surmise that they will be entering from a specific point, obviously it would be wise to target that area for this effect.
Yes. We're looking for the Feywild entrance to the Material Sides Chiral Plateau.
Garfield is just like he puts his hands in his head and he's like, ugh.
Yes, I couldn't quite tell you where exactly that is, as it was all torn to pieces before I was born, but it should be somewhere along the east end. I surmise nearby the Temple of Glass, of course.
Garfield says, I may have some information regarding that.
Oh, do tell.
The border that we created between the Feywild and Material Plane was first and natural, in the woods. It's an elegant solution. The best way to protect something of that magnitude is to ensure that it is hidden. Often the best place to hide something is in plain sight. And so much of that portal was created between specific segments of the woods. Additionally, there was a certain, at least when I was around, there was a certain tradition of moving the portal between the woods and the trees to ensure that it was never in the same place at the same time, and also ensuring that it could be closed if possible. The woods
east of the Temple of Glass, are traditionally where the portal was held. If it were to be reopened, I would presume that it would be there, but much time has passed. Elves are not one to quickly upend century-old traditions, but I, of course, cannot make any guarantees. That being said, I think the eastern woods would be a likely candidate for that bridge to be established. So, if that is the location you desire to target, could head there directly, though it may be dangerous. Or you could go within a certain range and pay the fee to get it to cover that area.
And this is in a completely different direction from the archives.
Not entirely. So use the map that I think I gave you, but I have others. I'll just put it up.
No, put it on here. Gonna change my screen.
You see, the Cairo Plateau is somewhat further west. It's not exactly on the way to the archives. You would be traveling parallel instead of north. The archives are up the river, of course. But the woods that Garfield speaks of are yonder, here. The borders between this temple and the edge of the plateau. Of course, the ruined walls of Kairomas. The original Kairomas. I am to understand that the elves of the material plane have thrived and made their own version of our ancient civilization.
Garfield just kind of quietly nods his head.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not a short journey. I would estimate from pulls out a roll 50 or so miles. Oh.
You're gonna yawn to make me yawn?
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. Well, we can decide on where exactly you want to do it. Let's start with you teaching us the ritual.
I think that would be wise, because that will precede all of this. Now, I will need time to both teach the activation and the deactivation. I must say the deactivation is much simpler. Activation is very involved. So, I suppose let us begin. The first step. Roll Arcana.
First step, give me $6.
I need to get better at
Pay a
Arcana.
subscription fee.
Make sure you have $50 at least by the end of the lesson, as there will be more times when you will need to pay.
Card.
Got a 20.
Alright, FS, would you like to give Malachi advantage during this check? John?
Sleepy boy.
You with us?
Not really.
Not barely? Are you sleepy?
Yeah, he's on the
What do you want
floor.
me to do?
So they're discussing the spell. Vitrus is breaking down the spell that's to be cast, and you and Malachi are trying to study and understand it. You can give him advantage in understanding the spell.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Alright, you can roll again. Maleki.
Can I give Garfield advantage?
Can give Garfield advantage. Well, no, you can't. You don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
You as Vesper don't know enough.
I do have a +5 to Arcana.
You do?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
actually no. You know what? That checks out because this is a wizard spell too, and you're a note.
I'm a
taker.
smart guy.
Yeah. All right. You can give advantage. I'll take it because I rolled a okay. I rolled a 7 and a 1.
Oh.
Okay, well, I still have my 20.
Malachi is actually the most adept. So after Vitrus goes through the whole description one time, Vesper and Garfield are struggling. Vesper's in taking notes. Garfield is actually exasperated and says, "This is a very different ritual from what I am used to. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to follow all of them. Whereas Malachi, you're actually picking this up. Something about Vitris you like, probably. I won't tell you what your character's interests are, but Vitris has a way of describing
It's the
things
shape.
that are almost more in line with sorcery than wizardry. He talks a lot about sort of the innate properties of what you're doing and understanding the feel and the attachment of it. And so while there are technical descriptions of the specific benchmarks you need to meet, there's also descriptions of like you need to focus your mind and think about this and then da 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 da, and it just jives with the way that you've always cast and understood magic. So you're able to actually intuit way more than you necessarily thought you would. And you have pretty good understanding of what you need to do. In terms of at a high level, what the actual process is everything revolves around the setup that essentially creates the architecture for the bridge. And then the thread of silk and the ritual knife are what seal the deal. The hourglass is the most obnoxious part because the hourglass is what you need to do to actually set up the timing of the bridge. So there's ritual chalk that need to be marked with specific runes. On top of some of those runes, the gold needs to go so that it can basically be consumed, become a part of the sand that falls in the hourglass. And then the offset of the hourglass, you have to time correctly with a knife. You need someone else to hold out the thread of silk, and then the ritual knife enchants the silk. And when you cut that silk, the hourglass freezes for a moment. And then at that point, you should feel a wave as like the bridge is physically created and sealed in place. The oil is more like anointing oil, essentially, which you thought to be strange, but it's actually an element of Beatrice's religion. Part of what he mentioned was in acknowledging what he said it in Elvish, but you speak Elvish, right?
Yep.
All right. It's the one thing he said that wasn't in common, perhaps because he didn't know what it was, but in common it just translates to the creator. So Vitris mentions you need to understand what the creator has done and link the bridge in this, and to get the creator's approval, you need to sanctify yourself because you cannot do this if you are unclean. And so a huge part of the ritual, in addition to being sorcery and feeling in tune, is also religious, and it's understanding your connection with reality and being in a place where you can speak with the authority to make this bridge. The dirt and the chalk are all for the runes and the connection points. The gold goes onto the runes to again be dissolved by the hourglass, and everything pivots on the timing between cutting the silk of the knife and establishing the bridge. That's it. That's the whole ritual. So in terms of high-level understanding, you know exactly what you need to do. The execution is still extremely difficult. It requires a lot of patience for the setup and then a lot of very specific timing, as well as religious sanctity from what you're saying. You're not, as a wizard, you're not really sure if that... It's difficult for you to evaluate how serious the oil in that process is in the acknowledgement of the creator. You're not sure if it's just a religious rite or...
Are you talking to me?
I am. Still
Okay.
as DM, not as anyone else. But
Sorry, you said as a wizard for a second. So
oh,
it's like-
yes, I did. No, sorry, as a sorcerer. Rather than a paladin or, say, a devout cleric with an innate connection to... You still are an Oracle Bahamut. So
Okay.
I'll give you that. But this is different. You've never... well, you may have heard of the Creator. From what you're assuming, it's just the elven god. But that's a term in Elvish that you've never heard used that way, just as a noun describing what is obviously the divine being. But that's it. That's the spell. You understand exactly what you need to do, but your confidence in being able to execute it is not quite as high.
Right.
That's something that's going to be very difficult.
Just like everything else.
Yep.
I wish there was a way we could practice.
Yep. In a sense, you can. He can run through it. There's specific things you need to do, but you have to be careful while you're going through the motions because there are things that you can't do until you're really ready to commit.
Yeah.
And that really involves the oil.
Then can we at least like make sure we learn all the runes, or did he give it to us?
He can write the runes down and describe. A lot of it can be written and recorded, and he can verify.
Mhm.
And then some of it is just going to be execution and practice of timing, and also needing multiple threads of silk to practice with a ritual knife.
Mhm.
You can't really practice converting the gold into the hourglass because at that
No.
point, like,
No, that's doing the
like
spell.
exactly. There are specific things that are benchmarks that you have to wait for, but the preludes and setting up the runes with the chalk, oh, that's easy. The chalk is expendable. The dirt you can spare some to practice. But yes, that would be its own process if you'd like to engage in that.
Yeah, I'd say since I understand it,
Mm-hmm.
that it's beneficial for the people who are trying to learn it as well if we do like a test run.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Now, while you're doing that, Garfield is going to attempt to learn the nullification of this spell, which Vitra says is a lot easier. While you're doing the dry run, do you want Vitros to talk with Garfield, or do you want Vitros to supervise your dry run?
Um, no, he can talk to him at the same time. I'm
Okay.
gonna, yeah.
All right. In which case, you want to jump right into it, get a plot of land, and just start practicing?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. I'm gonna have you want FS to assist, I believe. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
FS can do a lot of the grunt work of the spell, which will help you with timing.
Oh,
So I'm gonna need both of you to make sleight of hand checks.
Oh Lord.
Or actually, you know what? I'm gonna make FS do a sleight of hand check, and then Malachi, I'm gonna make you do an Arcana check.
I got a 15.
Okay, good.
13.
Okay, all right. So
would I
what
be able to
you're
help him?
practicing potentially, you can give FS advantage because if you have your notes for the things and the rituals that you're doing, you're just making sure that FS is hitting those objective benchmarks.
Or didn't Malachi roll lower?
Malachi rolled a 13. Yes. You could potentially help with that, but it's a little bit harder. Trying to think.
Up
You
to you.
should roll for your own understanding because you gave advantage, but yeah,
Okay.
you should roll Arcana to see how you're tracking all of this.
24.
Oh, you have as good of an understanding of it as Malachi after conferring. Okay. In which case, you can assist Malachi as well. So you're basically now an auditor of this while Vitris is talking to Garfield.
Got an 18 this time.
All right, there we go. So an 18 and a 15. So FS begins placing dirt, just practice dirt. You have dirt all over the place here. So Feywild dirt you're just using to spread these runes, as well as the chalk, which you have plenty of. Some of the symbols are a little bit off by slight amounts. Vesper makes sure to correct them. Once they're rewritten, it's fine. The runes aren't time sensitive until you start doing the benchmarks that you have to hit with the gold being converted into the hourglass and then timing the silk and the knife. So while it takes time for those to be set up, you can be pretty meticulous about it. Malachi, what you have to do is technically all of this for you would start with the oil, but you're jumping into just practicing the rites of walking through the setting up of the runes. There are verbal and somatic components, both of which have been written down, and Vesper has been grading you on. You're compartmentalizing them so that obviously you're not actually casting the spell. You were doing all right. Vesper had some notes that he noted the discrepancies, and it got a lot better to where you think a couple things you missed. It looks like with that extra pair of eyes, you pretty much got it down. Based on all of this, you all have mental notes of what you need to do, the things you don't want to forget, and after a first dry run, you are much better equipped to run it a second time, if you would so desire.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of what I'm going to give you for that, I will give both of you a +2 to whatever your rolls are for doing anything skill check related for running this spell. So you've already improved a lot from the first run. You have a +2 to any roll for this spell.
Oh boy, I'm
All right.
terrified.
FS, Sleight of Hand, Malachi Arcana.
All right, 18 again with the +2.
We got 22.
All right, so that would be a 24. FS has it down this time. He's pretty much demonstrated a mastery of it. It's very technical. As a wizard, he's consulted the notes. He understands Vesper. FS, I'm going to give you a +5 on any sleight of hand check to perform this ritual. After the second run, you got it down pat. Not too difficult for you at all. The Arcana,
Try to write this down.
you should probably. You have a +5 to your sleight of hand checks on the thing. That's in addition to your existing modifier. Malachi, you're struggling a little bit more with the Arcana. There's a lot of moving pieces to remember, and it's extremely difficult to practice when you have to compartmentalize everything about the ritual. So there's things that you keep leaving out that you have to remind yourself of, and you and Vesper are going over it. Roll another Arcana check as Vesper prods you.
Nope, it's worse.
Okay. That was difficult. You don't really feel like you gained anything out of that one. You might need to take a break and come back at it because it's been a lot of information thrown at you really quickly. So you're pretty confident that FS is doing his part, but he also has the lighter load of this burden. So
Yeah, I guess it's also like magically taxing too.
yes, it is. It is all of those above. FS is just spreading dirt on the ground and placing gold pieces. Basically.
Legend.
I mean, it's very technical in terms of where, when, and how, and what.
Specific as well, yeah.
Yes, but it's really just like I got to put the thing in the right place at the right time. So we're gonna say that quite a bit of time goes by. We woke up at 7, probably like 10 a.m. now. All these preparations have been taking place. Write that down.
Just moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
As an army, I would like for them to wake earlier.
Earlier than 7.
As an army, they should wake while it's still dark outside.
I mean, they probably were up. I did say when you got up, everyone was out of their tents and already eating.
All right,
They also have shifts earlier. From the last session, it was 11 p.m. So when y'all went to sleep, 8 hours of long rest was 7 a.m.
Okay.
That's the schedule I have you guys on.
Okay, well that makes sense. I just was like, is the entire army waking up
No.
at 7 a.m.?
They were it was breakfast time
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of the men who've been up since like 5 or dawn or whatever. And then you have the others who are still on the shifts who are rotating around the border because you still have the lookouts as well. But yeah, let some time pass. You want to run it again? Do one more Arcana check if you so desire.
Am I still helping him? Can I still help him?
If you would like, yes.
Okay.
All right, I got a 17 and a 20.
Okay, cool.
I got
Now-
16 plus 5.
Can I add the +2?
You do add the +2,
So it's
And-
20.
and FS has the +5.
Mm-hmm.
So you're feeling a lot better now than you did before.
I was just hungry.
You were what?
I was just hungry.
You were just hungry? Okay, nice. After this run, things have sunk together, and now you're falling into a pattern where the things you were originally missing before, now you're getting into the lock and step of it. So now you've moved your Arcana check up to a +3 with this. Could be better, but it's in good shape. Of course, I'm not going to tell you what the DC is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need more intelligence.
Yeah, charisma casters.
Mm-hmm.
Charisma casters casting a spell that isn't all based on charisma.
Hey. They should be transferable skills.
They're absolutely not transferable skills.
I think in the new edition, warlocks can choose charisma or intelligence.
Now that makes sense.
Rocks.
That's cool. I like that. But them being transferable skills, no. No. This
It's fine. I already used half of their spells.
all right.
Unrelated,
Mm-hmm.
with the map, the continent's 200 miles wide.
Essentially, yeah.
Is that from furthest point to furthest point, or is that
That's largely
'cause-
midsection.
So yeah, how it kind of dips in on the right side.
Yeah.
Does it stop there?
The
Okay.
Feywild one is slightly smaller as well because the water levels are higher.
Yeah, I overlaid them. I can see where it matches up. That's pretty cool.
Indeed. But yeah, the line I use is pretty much the divot on the east coast, all the way over to the hump on the west coast. That's 200 miles.
The hump?
Yeah, there's like it's a half circle basically on the coast.
Oh, so the furthest point in? I see.
Yeah, let me pull up the actual map. I'm on the Feywild map right now. Indeed.
I'm just trying to actually measure this out so we can figure
Yeah,
it
I
out.
know. I always guesstimate. Yeah. Mandrill's a little bit less pronounced. Pretty much that furthest point out. Basically, there's two little humps. There's a little hump below Terrabor in the divot, and then there's a little hump exactly the other side of it in Tarsus. That's 200 miles. That's the edge.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Whenever I pull up the map, that's what I always do, and then I split it in half. Because then I go 150, 25. That's where I get all my estimates for distance. And then anything that's slightly off, I just chalk up to the map not being 100% accurate.
Gotcha.
It's called cheating. All right.
That's fine.
In which case, I just need to roll for Garfield. Wow, Garfield was struggling. Okay. It took Garfield a while. The entire time while you guys were practicing that, Garfield was working at it as well. But he emerges after one of your dry runs and says, "Well, I think I have an adequate understanding of what I need to do to end this spell."
Adequate.
Yes, it could be improved. But
I get that. I get that.
I can assure you it is much simpler than what you are doing. Essentially, I just need to triangulate the point of origin, and in a few very specific words and with some oil, the spell can be lifted.
Okay. Well, do we want to do them sort of immediately one after the other, correct?
I would suppose so. I don't know if it's possible, since I imagine we'll be in different places. The spell
might be possible.
The spell originates. Well, I'm sure I could cast Ascending too, but I wouldn't want to disrupt your concentration.
Wait.
Yes.
You can cast Sending.
Yes.
You should not have said that.
Would you like me to take over some of your duties?
It's over for him. He'll never get the end of it.
I open my book and I show him my text message.
Garfield goes, "Oh my, you've been busy."
Yes.
I don't know these people as well as you do, but...
No, but in the meantime, if you can familiarize yourself with the people in the camp...
I could.
They go out, you'll be able to do that.
So there's this, 10-digit code we give them.
Tell the phone number. First three are the area code.
This lets you know where they live. Roughly.
Alright.
Are we kind of quote unquote under House Lumiere right now?
You're the map lineup guy.
Or a little further.
You're very close to House Lumiere.
That's kind of interesting.
Sure is.
Nothing bad happened there.
Nothing bad happened there, ever.
That's what turned our funny do 8 things at once little mini game thing. That's what turned it into. Now we're doing one quest where everyone's peeking in.
That is what happened. That's what did it. That's what did us in.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Slowly. And some characters are going on the back burner for a bit. We're going off screen.
It's not my fault they had a USB steering wheel.
So, anyway. Garfield takes some notes and says, "Yes, I can handle much of this. But back to the immediate topic. While I could send you a message, or you could send one to me, I wouldn't want to disrupt you during your ritual. Perhaps I could contact Vesper when we're ready.
I'd be open to that.
Yeah. I was also thinking that once we get into position, because you'll be doing it from here.
Yes. Beatrice tried to recall exactly where he cast the spell. He said it was nearby the house. He also noted that finding the exact point of origin is incredibly important.
Well,
He's working on figuring that out.
good. Good.
Although, I wonder if I could just.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm going to ask this to Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
Since this is connected to the Feywild, will our chances or our odds be improved by having a Fey creature or someone of Fey nature assisting us?
I don't think so. I've been in the Feywild for quite some time myself.
Well, you are a Fey creature.
Well, it's a complicated history, but yes. I'm not exactly Fey in the way that the Eladrin are Fey.
No.
Yes. The Feywild is simply a place that has, one could refer to as winds of magic. There are winds of magic in the material plane. They are nearly not as strong and gustly as the winds of the Feywild. Anyone can access those winds. But the reason the Fae can access it is because they have the best understanding of it due to their proximity. The one regret I have about making our voyage to the material plane is that the way that we conducted magic as elves there differs from what we did here when we were closer to Adrin.
Well, when I was growing up as an apprentice to the sorcerers of Mayhem, they always told this old story. It's nothing more than a myth, of course, but of a land or somewhere where magic just flowed freely.
I know of this, though it has been lost to time and space. And unfortunately, much of my memory is not what it used to be. Many things have happened which I have seen, but when and where and how are not as unmuddled. Elves have a long history as seafarers on Earth. For those of you who haven't heard before, Earth is the name of the planet that you're on, by the way. That's thanks to Jacob. But yes, Earth says, I was a part of a seafaring journey, I do recall, back when I was young. And much of that journey occurred in the Feywild, whereas I'm sure you've realized the sea levels are even higher than that in the material plane. Elves were excellent shipbuilders. I was a part of a group of wayfarers who would explore lands in the Feywild. Our home was, according to lore, long told, in terms of thousands of years. The earliest elven ancestors had their citadels destroyed by a cataclysm caused by the gods. And from there, they split into different seafaring groups to explore the Feywild, create new civilizations. But some elves, myself included, would journey to the material plane for a variety of reasons, but the primary of which being more divine intervention in the form of genocide. We were the group that escaped the Feywild to the material plane after two demigods wrought wrath on the elves of the original Cairo Plateau.
Well, I've always said that if I got the chance to avenge my father and help Lucine, and I had the opportunity to do something for myself, I would seek out this land of magic.
It is a dangerous one. I was hesitant to return, though I am confident that the demigods are no longer present. Not as if I did not witness their destruction.
Yes, well,
I can assure you that quests of vengeance will only go so far in quieting the chaos of your heart.
well, it's no longer about that, of course. However,
Hope so.
no longer about that. Looking at all of these people depending on us, I can't just be out for selfishness.
There is a reason you are now the Oracle of Bahamut.
Yes,
The
yes.
lessons I learned as the Oracle I have taken with me. I have no need to hold the station any longer. But you have lessons to learn, Malachi. I couldn't tell you what they are,
No, you couldn't.
but it is simply the duty of the Oracle to receive the lessons given to him by Bahamut. Of course, ultimately by Creator.
Mm-hmm. 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 All right, let's get the show on the road.
Let's. Where will you be departing? If Vitrus and I can find the exact origin of the spell in due time, I'm sure we'll be ready when you are. You may have a journey ahead, if you are to head to the Cairo Plateau.
I was hoping to ask the Raven.
Could be feasible. May take some time, but
I still think if I talk to the Raven, you shouldn't be nearby. He still has. I don't want to recognize him.
I'm vaguely aware of what has transpired. Vitrus and I discussed loosely. He himself was a descendant of the group, was on the Cairo Plateau, but remained in the Feywild after the demigods wrought their destruction. Apparently, they, remaining Ladrin, traveled further north after the destruction, created their own citadel, which is what he refers to as the location of the archives. Be curious to see them myself. Talks very highly of them.
No, we plan to go there after. That's what this spell will buy us time to do.
Yes, of course. Makes perfect sense. I am curious what has become of my brother's civilization. I lost many friends. I decided to go to the material. Wonder if any of them are alive as I have.
Yes. Well, okay. Thank you.
Alright. He sort of heads off.
Dab some up.
Yeah. Alright.
I found a point that I think might be best for our new bubble,
New bubble?
our new spell.
Yeah.
Oh! Okay, I see. You're looking at the map.
I am map guy right now.
Every group needs map guy.
Let me see if I can. Did I just delete that?
And you think it would.
What happened to it?
What's the gold cost of this?
Depends on the radius that you
$1
cast. I can
billion.
So-
up thing for like a mile.
Photoshop just crashed, so I can't export it.
Amazing. 10 gold for every mile that covers.
That's radius, you're saying, right?
Yes. Radius.
Okay,
And
cool.
gold
Not
for
square mile.
every
That would be a
elite
nightmare.
We spend 350 gold on a 35-mile radius
Mm-hmm.
and cast in the right spot. It'll cover most of Lucine. It'll cover the farm, which Vitrus asked, and it'll cover most of the Cairo Plateau.
What of the archive area?
That wasn't in the bubble. Does that need to be in the bubble?
I'm not clear. Am I the only one hearing that? Am I insane?
What'd you hear?
Like a guy, a frog throwing up.
Am I being pranked? It's playing the Scotland thing on the bagpipes, and I don't know where it's coming from.
Discord.
That's in the D&D chat.
Where?
In campaign chat.
What the heck?
How
Why
did you
it
click
start
that?
playing that? I
Did you hit a
closed.
media
Oh my
key?
gosh.
It's really funny because right after you said
I-
that, I heard the bagpipe
I
for a
hit-
split second.
I hit the I'm on Discord PTB, which is where Cyber Slacker is, and I minimized it, and it just started playing. And I'm looking on Chrome. It's so deafeningly loud, and no one else was reacting to it. So I'm like, what the heck is happening?
We were all just stone face.
Oh my
Instead of my being
gosh.
pranked.
What the heck? All right, whatever just happened, I missed it.
Yeah, don't worry, I got you. So we were going. Brr, brr, brr.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just basically, there's a point just south of what looks like the Chiral Plateau in the Feywild where we could cast it, and the bubble would cover not the archives, but everything else. Did we need it to cover the archives? Was that a thing?
No, not really.
Well, no, well,
You want?
I thought we were wanting to be. I thought for a fact we wanted to stay in the bubble because then our time would have gone as normal.
You do want to stay in the bubble, and you guys are like, you guys are specifically right here.
Okay, I've relaunched Photoshop now. Let me
My MS Paint thing.
mess with my bubble.
It's your bubble.
Yeah, we could do that.
Where's your point?
We
of
could cover the
origin you're talking about? Like here?
Well, I was saying, it was a little bit left of that, but now it's more like northeast of that, just below that like cracked temple looking thing. Yeah, right about there.
That's Kairomas. That's the original.
Well, no, a
Kairomas.
little bit further. With the first one you put down, a little bit further south than that second point. About there. And then
In which case,
Yeah.
that your funny heat, like 200-ish, 150, basically a 50-mile radius. Which is
that is 35 miles.
35 miles. I guess the Feywild is smaller. I'd have to line up the original map. I think you compromise at 40.
So
I
400.
did the monster math.
You
How
did the
much-
monster
How
man.
much shallower is it from coast to coast here than? Because I guess it does extend out like here or something, right? I don't have the side by
Graveyard
side.
smash.
But that's
The
east
west
again.
coast not so much. The east coast very much.
So like east coast goes out here.
Do you see? It's about the second floating island down there.
Like here.
About there, yeah. I think.
Okay, because then that is 200. 50. Yeah, no, I'm saying. All right, I'm saying like if you got a point centered, it might be a little bit further left. 35 is fine. Yeah, that pretty much even covers where the archives are.
And we can get the archives too.
Yeah. That's what I was doing here.
This civilization hasn't actually been name dropped, but it's just noted that they have the archives. So I guess it's being referred to as the archives. Yeah, that doesn't.
Sure.
Notably, that doesn't cover the ruins of the Elven capital, but it does cover. It does cover where.
My
Fairfield
bubble
said
does
something like-
cover about half of that.
Okay.
I can upload it. Hold on a second.
Sure, if you so desire.
I didn't find the center point, but it's somewhere there. It's just I have a bubble.
Okay.
Jeez, please don't crash again.
Great
The bubble.
time, bubble.
These are huge images. Maybe I should have.
They are big. I made them very big because I needed high res to get tiny little details. Yeah. when they were made. They were made very large cannons.
All right, let's see if this crashes Discord.
Pizza angel, please come to me.
Drop pizza. Okay, that makes yeah,
What do we think of that?
that's pretty good. Covers like all of Lucine, all of Elvendon.
Roshan is the one we got on side, right?
Yeah, correct.
Nice.
Actually, wait, is it? No. Which one is it? It's Zara. Zara's the one that's on your side.
Yeah.
Roshan
that's
is-
right.
You're gonna want to hear from House Roshan. I got those other houses. They got some crazy quests going. Zara was the you rolled well. It was the most simple execute. The ones are
If you arrow key back and forth, you can see the overlay. Sort of.
not gonna. I guess I could do my own funny little measurement. Drop. This is like now. This is definitely 200, 150. That's kind of like a 50-mile radius. Not quite. 45.
Well, I measured it from the 2 points you gave me. It was 4,250 pixels divided by 200 miles. That's 21.25 pixels.
Uh-huh.
And then that area I specified is it's a 743.75 pixel radius, which is 35 miles.
Yeah, I have 739. So the whole line that's 200 miles is what is it? 3,539. Like yeah. So 3,539 is 200. Now I got it. 2,539.
I wonder if the measure tool in Photoshop was being weird then.
I don't know. Because then the ratio I get is 17 pixels is 1 mile. So then when I take radius here of our circle, it's not like this. That's 745. So 745
hold on.
divided by
Yeah.
17.695 is what I have. 42 miles. This is 45 miles, basically.
All right.
Let's say 45 to be safe, and that'll pretty much cover all of. We'll say that covers all of the Elven City, all of Lucine.
Okay.
45 miles is a safe bet. And I'll pull up the actual.
Where's my ellipse?
Yeah, now all you have to do is figure out. It looks like you're actually not going to be on the plateau. You're going to be on the cliff wall of the plateau.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Grass field.
I don't know how I got that larger number then.
I don't know, but whatever. Maths and stuff.
Well, yeah, looks like 42.15, so we can call it 45 to be safe.
Yep. That will guarantee
All right.
no problems. All right. So, which case is the crew of spellcasters departing to that location east of the plateau wall and south of original Kyra?
I'm leaving Raven Delanere here with the other druids.
Yep,
But I'm taking Drya.
got it. I assume you're definitely taking FS and Vesper, right?
Yeah. I'm also wondering, since Drya is also good at like finding places to transport between, they'd be able to help us find the spot a little easier.
Possibly, yeah. Is there anyone else you want to take?
We should take somebody from Muscle. So Rain.
Yep, that works.
Um,
Do you want to jump in on this, Nick, so that we can?
well, I was about to say, should we get Grodger too?
Sure.
How do you want to play this? Are you stalking them and listening to them, or are you being cordially invited? What's your play here? Weird,
I don't think
traumatized
you would
dragon
ever
man?
be cordially invited to anything. So.
Well, it depends. Depends how this shakes out.
Change things are like fey creatures, right? Maybe we get him hoping
Mm-hmm.
he'll be able to help.
Mm-hmm. We're at this point, we're kind of just grasping at straws for any kind of thing that would help shift the balance
Give it
enough.
advantage. Yeah. Yep. Alright. Are you finding Roger and inviting him? Roger.
I'll take 5 minutes and do ascending.
Still working on those rocks. We gotta make sure they done.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna speak into his mind. I'm gonna say, "Put the rocks down. Come find us. We need your help. We're going on a mission." Wait,
Little rat.
Enemy voices. Enemy voices.
this is Malachi, by the way.
Like
Because
you
he
said,
heard
enemy
he
voices.
heard the scream from the opposite side of the camp.
you putting the rocks down?
Well, now we need those.
Alright. While you're reacting to this, Raven is just gonna walk over to you and go like, having a problem there. What?
I need to go. Scrambles off.
Alright.
Hmm.
Yeah, you immediately hear her turn to Crunkmeyer, who's sweeping, and she goes, "Is he with us?" Crunkmeyer just goes, Alright.
I've never seen that guy before.
Roger runs up,
I'm
Malachi
back.
Dryad, Body Escort Rain, FS, who just got back into the realm of consciousness, and Vesper, all ready to go.
Roger.
Is the Raven taking us?
He can,
Because
if you so desire, but he'll need to get some help transporting you.
45 miles is.
It's a distance, yes.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
You may have to do some convincing. You have to have a conversation with.
Okay. Well, before we go, I guess I'm gonna go over there.
Alright. The Raven is perched at the. Where is he perched? He probably can't go in a house because Beatrice won't allow that. He might just be perched on the edge this time, near one of the silos that's being used as a watchtower on the edge of the crags. Taking the whole group, or are you and Dry going? What's the plan here?
I mean, if he's gonna take us, we might as well just all go. It's like if he says yes, and it was like, wait, let me get everyone.
Alright, so the group rolls up. The Raven says,
Malachi, it has been eventful here.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
I'm just some in now.
I actually had. I was wondering if you'd be able to assist us. We need to travel quite a distance.
What distance?
As the raven flies, about. What would you say, Vespa? About 35 miles?
About 35 to 40.
Oh yeah, I gotta pull up the thing. Yeah, from where you actually are. Yeah, that's completely accurate. That can be accomplished, but it is no easy. I must ensure that my kin are eating, for such a journey would be strenuous.
Bro, we can just take Fartsmello's Tesla. Come on, it's not that hard.
Where is it that you are going?
Frizz? No way! Where's it on down Pine Street?
Well, where we're from, we would call it the Cairo Plateau.
What did you
am familiar.
What did you call those ruins I was talking about? Do we know the name of that in game?
They're just the Cairo Plateau ruins,
Oh,
basically.
Yeah,
Raven
if,
says,
man,
The Kyril Plateau is where the elves of old lived before they were driven out. Then, in their wayfaring, they made their way onto our territory, expelled us, as I have informed. The destruction of their civilization, that plateau, is what instigated our hostility. For they encroached on our land.
hmm,
But it should be safe to travel there now, at least safe from elves. Other manner of beasts I cannot say. There has been a concerning rise in the danger the local wildlife has posed to my kin.
any particular reason? Why?
I have been investigating the matter, as has my liege, and we have designated new threat as hunters, not seen by the naked eye. You recall when I intervened, Infernus described something similar. Beasts
hmm.
that could not be seen ravaging woods. Skeptical I did not believe him, but now it seems all the more possible new scourge risen.
Yeah, great. It seems it's one thing after the other here in the Feywild.
As it always has been,
Mm,
survival of the fittest is the rule of law here. It is not called the Fey Tame.
I'm going to give him a polite laugh.
That was not a joke. It was a warning.
Flips his skateboard.
Um, I'm going to say, with this in mind, we still could really use your help.
Well, I would not be in any danger, nor my kin, should we simply drop you, then take to the skies. But we have not been highly effective at combating the hunters ourselves.
In your run-ins with these hunters, what have you observed?
There is little to observe but the damage they do, as if they flow with the wind itself, leaving marks and scars. They pierce, they also ravage, and they are. I have had some of my raven scout hills to the east of the farm, a land we have often not traveled for the lack of prey to hunt. But it has become clear to me, maybe not clear. I theorize the hunters emerge from these hills. Perhaps they have simply spread their wings. I do not think they can fly, they are certainly swift. You have not encountered them on the farm, have you?
No, not that I know of.
That is a blessing of itself. Well, I would be willing to transport,
Thank,
but should you run into trouble, hunter, I don't know that I would be willing to risk the lives of my raven.
No, I don't expect it of you.
Then I can arrange transportation.
These hunters, have they attacked you all in the sky at all?
No. This is why I think they have not wings. On the ground, they are fast.
Yeah, understandable. All right, that makes sense. We're with you. Thank you.
I will retrieve some of my flies off. Robin is like 50 feet over and he just waves.
Oh, hey, Robin.
The
Robin
bear just walks
over.
by. You go, hey bear.
Hey, bear. This is an inside joke.
Robin, you're a druid, yes.
Nods.
I know that many of those who walk the druidic path are able to change shapes.
Mm.
I know you've seen the Great Raven.
Mm.
Would you be able to shift into a form similar?
He's not high enough level.
He's not high enough intelligence.
What's that? What's that, boy? CR too high?
Is he stuck as a bear? Oh.
Wait, are you cursed?
I guess. Are you stuck as a bear? There you go.
I'm gonna, while we wait for him, I'm just gonna cast Identify.
You
What is
identify
this?
curses with Identify?
I think so.
Kind of goaded.
I don't think there's an identify curse spell, so I don't know how else you'd do it.
I gotta check. Maybe
find out.
Yep. It said if you use it on a person,
Get cursed
if it's a
yourself.
creature, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affected.
Woo. I guess a curse is a spell. Works. Alright. You just need a minute.
No, I'm not casting it just as I'm going to take 11 minutes while we wait for.
Alright.
He won't know where he's retrieving all these people. Wrong accent.
Yeah, who worked? Alright.
Yeah. So while we wait, doing that.
While you wait, you're doing that. Alright. After the 11 minutes is up, I don't know if either of you try to make further conversation with Robin while Malachi is doing this, but Robin attempts to communicate through some sign language, which looks like thieves can't. I don't know if you guys understand that.
Vesper knows thieves can't. Is it thieves can't?
It is thieves can't.
Interesting.
It's a specific limited set of symbols, so it's like a shorthand, but basically what it boils down to, the literal translation is no-go, bear, indefinite. Like, yeah.
I'm a better bear. I wasn't listening.
But he can't say much. He clearly knows some thieves can't, but he's not proficient.
Gotcha.
Malachi, after 11 minutes,
Mhm.
11 minutes, after 11 minutes of casting Identify, this man is a werebear who is permanently a werebear. It is a severely strong curse. You don't know the origin of who planted it on him, but it was clearly someone that had a lot of power to use this kind of severe curse, and it's not something that could be fixed by anything less than a greater restoration.
I imagined. I just. You know who might know Greater Restoration? I'm just wondering if he would. I don't know.
Garfield?
He's the only other spellcaster here I can think of who would know.
I think that Bloppletub knows remove curse, so when he gets back,
That would
might be
also
something to
work.
think about.
That would
Does Wolfentup never move first?
If he has it,
I'm not
I don't know
sure.
if he does.
I don't know if he does have it.
As long as it takes another day, he can swap it out and he
He's
can know
lost in a Walmart, so
He's
it for sure.
gone.
Know it.
That's the Bloppletop view. Spells.
We summon the spirit of Blappletup. Hey, dude, do you know remove curse?
Could do ascending to him and ask.
he goes, yes.
He's probably
his
just
spirit
gotten off
fades.
the road. Probably still in Namir maybe for a day or so, chilling or walking north. He's probably been having a great time, honestly. Like,
He doesn't have it like as an active spell. He probably like it's probably like in his knowns, like his spell list.
I
But I
guess
don't play
Oh.
Bloppletop like that.
Yeah, clerics can.
swap out their
Swap.
spells every long.
Yeah.
amazing.
Okay.
I think I've only touched his spell like once.
Yeah.
I remember us talking about remove curse because we got cursed by the mayor of the place that I can't remember the name of.
Yeah,
That was like 2 months ago in real life.
it was not too
Bluffdorf.
far away from Bluffdorf or something. Yep,
It was like Jamiroquai or something.
it was actually Jamaica. Actually, Jamaica, because
Where
that's
we living in.
Jamaica is not a real place.
True. Never seen it. Not real.
Yep.
I was gonna say.
Okay, so is Raven back or?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, he can be. I was just waiting if you want to do anything with Robin.
I'm trying to figure out if I need to be concerned. Like, did he get attacked?
No, he's coming back. I just didn't put him on the map because you were talking to Robin.
No, that's okay.
How much gold is that big circle in campaign chat?
Big circle.
450.
400, 450?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bloppletop alone could fund 300 of that.
Rich boy. Hey, you're gonna get richer if you help Dweeby get his stash. But it'd be a huge.
Hey, we're gonna
economic.
have to pay for it here, but if you want to pay us back later,
Yeah,
You
I'll just use send. Bloppletop will send it over Malachi's sending. Just
no,
a
no,
check.
it can wait till you get
I mean,
back.
Oh, no. I'm going to start doing some collect sendings.
Gosh.
The ESO mailing system
I can't
takes
keep
like
paying for these.
5%.
Give me one of your
so-
spell slots.
Thank goodness. Alright. 2 ravens have arrived to escort you. If you are ready to be escorted.
Oh, so
Do you
the
accept
Raven
the
is coming.
charges?
The raven is not joining you.
Okay, that's fine.
There are 2 leashes. You can split apart as you desire. They can carry quite a few of you, like pretty much 3 at a time. Vesper is maybe going to be flying. I don't really know. They can probably fly faster than Vesper, so.
Malachi, his
Probably.
wife, and his son.
Yeah, the little family trio.
I was about to say the little family.
Yeah, and look at their matching colors: green, blue, and pink. It's like that's perfect. Now you need a family crest. All right,
How old is
we're all ready?
Malachi?
Like 20 something.
If he didn't already have a family, I would have adopted him.
It's like the same age as Farts Mel.
Yeah, I think he's like mid 20s. Malachi, FS is early 20s. Malachi's like a few years older than you. All right, I'm putting you over here because I don't feel like making a new map, and the area you're going to is basically identical to this. So
I often forget that Vesper's like 56.
yeah, he's a veteran, man. He's been through it.
He's no bird.
I keep getting that Grouger used to be old. Now he's not old.
Yeah, he's finally back. This isn't Groucho,
We've been
though.
through it.
You're right. All right. In terms of what Grouger has, Nick, I would say knife and bow are safe bet for sure. So you can just use that. No fancy knife though. Same stats otherwise.
When he was learning everything about Groger, did he learn Thieves' Cant and stuff?
Oh yeah, of course. He's a professional.
Perfect.
He really learns. Goal.
It's almost as if he's got like a duplicate of Groger's character sheet.
It's practically, yeah. Great.
I did not duplicate it.
You don't have
That's
to.
okay.
You really don't need to.
Just
use it.
Daggers and stuff, yeah.
Just use the normal
You
one.
just don't have your flame tongue rapier. You don't have the cloak of the manta ray either. I'm removing that. That was that's gone.
Haven't had that for a while.
I
That's
know.
why.
That's like gone.
It is.
Well,
That's
no,
like
we
triple
conclude
gone.
that it's sitting on the ground.
Marcus's spell book. No, it's not on the
Marcus.
ground. The thing that I think is on the ground is Eyes of the Eagle. The cloak of the
That's also on the
Mandril
ground.
left as collateral for a shopkeeper that off-screen Cagliari murdered. So
Mhm.
that's a whole separate issue. Still have the helmet.
It was the
That's all-
voices,
It
okay?
was the voices. It's always the voices. Still got his infinite lollipop from Santa Corn too. All right.
Don't read all my items. There's secrets in there for me and me alone.
Uh-huh.
Those are my things.
So, we'll say that it's like 12 p.m. by the time that you guys get heading out, ready to cast this spell. And it is quite a journey ahead of you. 45 miles as the raven flies. I'm just going to look up how fast do ravens fly. Up to 200 miles per hour?
That's
Oh my
not.
gosh.
That's over short periods.
It
Wait,
is
the
over
ra-
short periods.
The Raven can do that?
No, real life
I mean-
ravens can do that in short bursts.
I mean,
Oh, they're big.
a lot of birds can do
Fellas
that.
is big.
Can do that. Wild.
These fellas is big.
Well,
Alright.
yeah.
Level flight is about 25 miles per hour, which means you're going to be there in like an hour and a half. So, 1:30. The wind isn't helping you. But by 1:30, you land, and the ravens immediately, after probably Daria's direction and Vesper's confirmation on the map, drop you in the field and then immediately begin circling. So they're in the air, kind of to watch over you. One of them lands on the plateau, as does the other one. Just pretend that this is now the Cairo Plateau. This
Yes.
is whatever.
This is indeed the Cairo Plateau.
It is certainly. North of you is the original Cairo Mass. West of you is grassland. Notably, this is a very peculiar, unsettling area of the Feywild. You were traveling for quite some time, and you passed over a few landmarks now. Wind, please.
Just to make sure that we put a good bow on it. The place where the spell has to be broken is on the compound, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
so
what Garfield
Rain
was
is with us.
saying. Yes.
So Ryan and some other soldiers, it could be anybody,
Mm-hmm.
would be making sure that Garfield is protected.
Yeah, easily. So during the journey, you guys passed over quite a bit of land to get here. Early on, when you were flying up, you made note of the Raven's Crags, which you have passed before. The mountain range, which contains the little Santa Corn oasis that was north of you. Eventually, you did travel over to the first section of open fields, which is a little uncanny because it's nothing but tall, extremely pastel green grass. You did note that south of you is what looks like a cliff wall, and the river does run all the way south, and there's notably what looks like a very tiny town over some section by the river, but it looks like 20 or 30 miles yonder, can barely be seen. It is a little bit foggy. The sky is very strange. One thing to note is the sky has never quite been blue in the Feywild. It's flirted with pinks, it's flirted with oranges, it's pastel yellows. But now, entering into this section, the sky changes into a cold, dead white. And it's like you're staring into a foggy void. And as you travel over the land, there's fewer and fewer landmarks to take note of. There is the mountain range to the north. There is the old ruins of Kairos that Daria and Vesper are using to guide you. And you can almost see where the archives would presumably be, but there's a divot in the ground where it looks like the archives are actually below sea level. That area is actually where there's an inlet in Mandril and a lake. Here it looks like a sub-sea level crater almost. It's hundreds of miles wide, or perhaps 100 miles wide at its largest point. Difficult to see from here and through the fog. But as you descend upon your location, there's very few landmarks. It's a white sky, green tall grass as far as the eyes can see, and the light tan stone wall of the plateau, which is hundreds of feet high, of just clear rocks, like much like Bristol in the UK, or the cliffs of Dover, shall I say. Very eerie, very quiet, and the only thing joining you at this location in nature is the wind. No birds, no crickets, no wildlife. Cold, dead air and a white sky. You've arrived at your location.
Oh, so we're already all right.
About 1:30 in the afternoon.
Drya,
Yes, darling?
do you sense anything or anywhere?
I'm a little more concerned in the fact that I sense nothing. It's not often that I venture outside of the woods, which are full of life. This place feels desolate. The ravens were concerned about wildlife here. Seems dead. The only thing living is the grass. Nothing I can see for miles.
Hmm.
I'm definitely trying to keep an eye out.
It's probably a good idea. Rain is kind of walking around in circles, checking things out. But nothing to see. He comes back and says, "Why is the sky so empty? It's like we're in a void or a dream."
I want to do a religion check.
Go ahead.
I got a 13.
Something's definitely off. You don't really know what. It's definitely not. You literally can't put coherent thoughts together, but you know that something is awry. But it's not specific enough of a feeling to place it.
Okay.
So what are we doing here? Casting a spell, right?
Yes.
More or less. More of a
We need to
ritual
find,
than a
like, we have
cast.
to find like a specific spot, right? Or do we?
You don't. You're in
It's
the general
not that
area.
specific, no.
Yeah.
I think our margin of error is 3 miles.
Exactly. Like you got plenty of room. You're in pretty much the right spot.
Well,
We do have the gold, right?
Yes. Not going to assume.
I mean,
that you made the
we have
judgment
like
about it.
everything
Yes.
we need.
Yes. I assume that Rain is carrying everything because he's built like a tank. So.
This was what, party gold or?
Good question.
I don't know where this gold is coming from.
It's your call.
That was kind of my question.
How much gold do you guys have?
You want me to be broke, huh?
I mean, how much do you have?
I have about 200 gold.
Oof.
I have 128. That's my retirement fund, by the way.
I know a
Fart
guy
Smell
that has
digs out
quite a lot of money, but he's unfortunately in jail.
Fart Smell digs out a small bag that has 10 gold in it.
That broke the camel's
We
back.
would have arranged this before flying
You
here.
would have.
So
Would have.
Can I'm gonna go before we left. Could I have asked my brother, yo, bro? Can you spot me some cash?
He can give you 50.
Cool.
He's
Such a little brother. He's got more.
He needs it.
he's going to the movies.
What does he need it for? Where's he going to spend it?
The movies. He wants to see the new Batman.
Alright,
Okay,
so
I do want to
200
see the
for
new
Malachi.
Spider-Man movie. but
50 from Malik is 250. If Vesper gives away his retirement fund, we'll just call it 100. That's 350. FS, how much do you have?
10.
360 gold. 36 miles of coverage.
Don't you know that 10 gold, that's a lot of money where he comes from.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Well, I
it
mean,
is.
technically, it's just is a lot of money.
Listen,
The
I didn't
problem
get.
is we delved through ancient cities.
I faked my death and deserted. I didn't get a pension here. Okay,
Yeah.
I worked.
Listen, I know none of us wants to hear this, but this is what it's all about. Sacrifice for the greater good, right?
As the rich guy.
Well, truthfully,
Okay. He needs that money. Okay, if he doesn't have at least 10 gold on him, he shrivels up.
That's true. Like a raisin.
Reason.
He just goes,
He goes insane.
Because he has his money touching hour where he just touches money for an hour.
But this is an interesting problem.
listen,
We're gonna have to make a new mission where we raid Castle Lucerne for my 400 plus gold.
this is the last of the money I have for home. I've been carefully managing the money that I had when I left Lucerne all those years ago.
That's
Look.
rough.
I'm going to look at Dryden. Darling, you're alright with a broke husband. Right?
Ditches you immediately.
I didn't marry you for your currency, honey.
But it was a factor. Goodbye.
It was a factor. It was a factor. But
Actually, I'm going to be like, and you're a queen, right?
yes.
You're gonna try to get money from her.
To be fair, darling, we don't use gold.
I
Not relevant
know.
to me.
Yeah, she
I
gives
know.
you 65 Carico bucks.
I
You're a
Little-
burden to
the-
let go.
Could
They're
we
little
have
wooden circles.
could we have crowdsourced some funds from the soil?
That's what I was thinking, but honestly,
Go ahead.
So wait, you're gonna the rich man is
I
gonna
did
walk up
I did suggest that last week.
to a bunch
Give
of
me
people with
give
no
me a roll, 'cause
houses.
this obviously would have happened before y'all left.
Alright, persuasion roll with advantage, huh?
All these people have lost everything they've ever
Sure.
had. You're gonna walk up to them and be like, "Give me 10
Persuasion.
bucks."
With advantage.
I mean, honestly, what are they going to use it for here?
16.
I mean,
16.
Inflation's gonna go up.
You raised a whopping 12 gold from the men in your unit. Before you scoff, the men were giving up copper and silver that a lot of them, it was all they had.
No, I understand that. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That is a lot. We did that's gosh, we can't go back without having completed this spell.
You can't.
Yeah, think about what happens if you just suck.
Well,
Like, we just don't complete the objective.
like
It's just like,
if we fail the spell,
guys,
No,
your
I
life
can't-
savings are gone.
So here's what's on the table. This is a discussion you'll have to have before you leave. Probably as you're like setting up, like we have everything. It's like the gold, right? The gold, and then you're all like, oh no, how much do we? And then you have to stop before the ravens depart. So we're just gonna go back in time a bit.
does
Okay.
does Orion have money?
He does, but not in abundance. He could probably spare 20 gold. That's his personal money.
it's
Mhm.
everyone's personal money.
It is
Don't
everyone's personal money.
specify.
But
We're- it's rough for everybody.
let's see. We got 200 gold from Malachi. If we use Vespers, 128. 50 from Malik. 20 from Orion. 12 from the men. That's 378.
10 from
390.
Ezra.
It's 410. If we use every gold coin at our disposal.
How come we're using all of my gold, but we're not using all of Malachi's gold?
All of you have more than 200, Malachi? You don't tell me you led with 200 and you have more that you're just pocketing like a little gremlin.
No, I don't have nearly enough to help. I was
You
keeping.
have 236 gold and 73 silver.
So
No.
it doesn't work though, right?
36 gold.
We're
Eh,
not paying the gods of magic. We're sacrificing gold
you
here,
need
yeah?
coin. It is gold specifically, yeah.
I am giving up 200. I can hold 36 for a rainy day.
Think of his money hour. What is he gonna touch if he doesn't have the money?
You're gonna beat me for 36 gold? Vesper.
You just did that to your soldiers. They gave up literally everything, and you're going, well, I need to keep at least 36 of it, guys.
With that 36, I could pay them for another 2 years.
Or they know they're not getting paid. They're hoping they see some type of benefit by the end of this.
I'll throw in the 6 gold.
6 more gold. That's up to 416 gold. We can cover 41.6 miles.
What about
literally
Vitrus?
Vesper's retirement.
Wait, how many? Stop stressing his retirement fund.
Vitrus,
You give up his entire retirement fund, and you're like, well, I want to hold on to my thing.
This is my family's inheritance. This is my actual.
it's a big deal for both of you. Vitrus cannot spare you any gold.
No, he can't.
He's already given you a lot. He can't fund you economically.
No. I wouldn't expect that from him either.
I wouldn't expect that, but I would like to keep my 36 gold, so.
Listen, fake Roger.
You can shrink the radius. Just increases the risk.
Okay, no, but hold on. We were trying to do what, 450?
That was the goal. If you give 236, if Vesper gives a full 128, that's 350, 364. That's 414, 434, 436, 446. If you give 236, Vesper gives 28, Malik 50, Orion 20, and the Soldier 12, you can basically get to 45.
No, you said Malik was keeping some money back.
Maybe.
I'm the firstborn, all right?
You gotta roll persuasion on him.
God, you know what? No,
Can I assist with the really? What are you going to spend it on here?
You can.
We
roll
can get more
persuasion
gold on the
him.
way back.
Okay. 25.
You know how much gold he was holding out from you?
How much?
5.
But I would like to keep my 36, because, like, my money hour, like, I kind of like, I like hearing the coins, like, I pick them up and, like, drop a couple on the others, and I like hearing that little clang.
Okay, at this point we're 11 gold over. So
Who knew that the hardest thing about this session would be parting with 450 gold? I can hear John in the other room in real life wailing, and then the delay coming over in Discord.
your family is poor, Malachi.
Oh my God. Wait, didn't FS give a little bit? I don't have his contribution written down. 10.
10.
FS gave 10. FS gave 10. Orion gave 12. No, the army gave 12.
I'm literally
gave 20.
weeping.
Orion gave 20. Malik. Vesper if he gives a full 128. Malachi if he gives a full 236.
That puts us 11 over.
Final tally, I think. But I'm going to actually put in my calculator. I should have just put it in Excel, but I don't know.
Yeah, I have a spreadsheet open.
12 plus 10. Yep, you're 11. You're 11 gold over from what you need.
11 gold over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Let's.
my original calculation
I'll keep 2.
called for
Oh, he'll keep 2.
42.15 miles.
It's true.
So that's 400. Well, we'll call it 422 gold,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So
How much do we get to keep?
that would put us with 422 gold. That's 39 left over.
Okay. I'm literally just weeping because Malachi is realizing how much life has changed.
I'm so glad I made the requirement of the spell money.
He used to be so rich. Alright, so let's suck it up. So So you need all 236 of this?
Uh,
Go with 422.
giving the soldiers their money back now would be kind of weird. I mean,
It would.
oh wait, did you say they were offering silver and copper?
They were that value
Does that
gold.
work for the spell?
No.
No.
Or do we need gold?
You need gold.
How much did they give us? 12?
12 gold worth
Yeah.
of silver and copper.
Then we have to
So that-
subtract that. It's fine.
That puts us 27 over
Okay.
with the 422 number. So,
It's fine.
what's FS dealing with? Is he dealing with gold? Does he have
I
actual
gave him-
gold?
He's got 10 gold coins.
Okay.
He's a little farmer guy, you know.
All right.
Well,
so we
I'm
didn't take
supposed
any
to-
of the money.
Sizable
Okay,
fat.
fine.
That
I feel
10,
better.
that 10 gold is
Like,
daddy's
start
inheritance.
farming.
No,
Yeah.
he's got his family canonically is freaking stacked in Zara. They're cow herders and orchards. Like they make bank. They're the biggest farm in House Zara.
Maybe we should harvest them for resources.
So listen, we didn't take any money from the soldiers, okay?
Yes, we'll
Yeah.
go with that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
now
'cause
I
they were
don't
offering
feel, I
silver
don't
and
feel
copper.
as guilty. I just feel terrible. Try, I can't help. I should have married me.
Gold.
Be nice if we had a creation bard right about now.
Clark better be like marketing the hell out of
No,
that.
what you need is you need Dweeby to go get a stash because Dweeby has canonically agreed to give you his fortune if you give him a nice house somewhere peaceful.
Yep.
Mhm.
We can put an extra 2 gold into the spell, bring it up to 424, and then give everybody back 5 gold.
Okay.
Including Orion, Malik, FS, just split it evenly.
Yep. Because that brings us to 25 left over, and then there's 5 people, 5 contributors.
Okay.
Oh, so 5 of us single-handedly funded all of this. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we're the leaders. Sorry, FS. I brought you into this.
It's okay,
FS
sir.
knows the cost of doing magic now. Alright. So, has
That's
it
all.
been confirmed everyone is left with 5 gold?
Wait a second. Hold on. So
Wait, so I only
200
lost half my gold?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, technically, Malik and Orion don't need to know that we didn't use all of it. I mean,
Actually, the 206 was mine. 32 was a party gold.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
That-
there was 30 party gold? Damn.
Yeah.
32 and 50
32.
silver.
And if
So
we go
you
back
were...
to 206 and 120.
I mean, I have the party gold there in the bag of holding.
Yeah, but it is the party goal.
This
Okay.
is a party thing. I mean,
That's true.
Well,
That's
so-
true.
I was
I
about
mean-
to say, we're gonna die. We might die.
What's a multiple of 6 that's close to the number we...
Great question.
Well, the party doesn't need to be refunded,
420.
so...
Oh god! Yeah, it's true.
Well-
it divides into 70.
ew.
I was just thinking, because now there's 6 contributors, but it's not like we can give 5 gold back to the party because it's not an entity.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You can give 5
Yeah.
gold back to the party. That's
Well,
just party funds.
And we'd just be
Hey,
giving...
once we
Yeah, don't worry.
find Weeby's stash, we can share that among the party as well.
Yeah, I don't think you guys know how much money Dweeby has.
No, we don't.
Not a single. Not only Brendan. No, Brendan is canonically one of the richest men in Mandril, in terms of raw, unprocessed gold. It's my
Okay.
favorite part about his character.
So we'll cast with 424 gold. That's 42.4 miles. And we'll all get 5 back. Is that good for everyone?
Yeah.
Or rather, we'll all be left with 5 gold, including the NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right.
okay.
And that fake Roger doesn't have any money, right? No. Okay.
Good for you, fake Roger.
It might be
Good for
like
you.
1 gold at most.
Yeah.
He has
We'll
1
take it.
copper
And
We'll
for
take
sure,
it.
in his crack.
and for sure that he's not being told to other people.
All right.
Yeah.
It's his precious.
It's precious.
I was thinking of
All right.
something and I completely forgot it. It's fine.
So,
I can't believe I'm giving up $236.
so I'm definitely saying that now you guys are arriving at 2:30 because it took an hour to deal with your financial woes.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
But yeah.
Wait, it's not letting me subtract that much. Why?
You can just click on the number. Like if you click up at the number next where it says gold GP, you can subtract. You can just change that.
Oh, I
Gotcha.
think you only have 204 gold pieces.
Yeah, I don't have 206.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have 206. They were adding my silver and copper together.
Yep.
204 is what I put in my calculation
Okay.
Oh, is that okay?
Good.
because someone said that. So
I think I might have at some point because I was looking at his character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, we're having so much fun this session.
Okay, great.
So happy.
Yeah.
This is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
This is what the lesson in the Fallout New Vegas Dead Money DLC was trying to teach you. You know, you gotta learn to let go.
I didn't play that game.
You can trick Elijah to come down
Oh,
and then you
I
grab the
know.
gold and
I
stick out
could've-
past him.
I
and-
almost did it. I still made
I
my way
walked
out with a
encumbered.
few gold bars. I made my way out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that DLC was great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
All right, I'm down to 73. So
230.
Remember when he paid me 1,000 gold for a magical item and then took it away?
I do.
I'll never forget that.
That was
What?
horrid. It was Cagliari's money. And Cagliari was taken into custody and all of our money was stolen and went back right to King Xerxes. Right to King Xerxes. Cagliari probably remembers that too, by the way. So and they didn't give you that money back. So
Listen, Brendan's not here. She's not going along with his plan.
yeah, I figured you have your own agenda.
Yeah.
That just makes it all that just makes me happy.
Because listen, Malachi and all the rest of them, they're hers to kill. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
Xerxes is not getting a portal.
Sure.
She wants a portal, so she's going until then.
Yep.
But then, of course, Sable also has ulterior motives.
I'm dying to see how that shakes out. That's gonna be wild.
We got triple crossing going on.
Mm-hmm.
well, you know what?
My Ford F-150.
I want all of them dead.
Even Cagliari and Rainey?
Yeah.
No, not Rainy and Smart Fella.
Well,
Gosh.
it might be fun.
Yeah, that could
Just
shake
kill
out
him.
real interesting. Like,
So
anyway,
I was thinking today while driving that Cagliari is going to try to get Rainey in on the plan, which should be easy because I'll be convincing myself.
that should be easy. That's the only person you have to
It should
convince.
be easy because
And then-
it's me.
Smart fella can come along, but I'm not going to tell him the plan because I don't trust him not to
Oh,
just
yeah.
say it.
Oh yeah.
And then Illithor is a wild card. Definitely going to work on Sable. Yeah. Anyway, what were we doing?
That's gonna be fun. Yeah, what we're doing is we just landed in the field. We've set our parting ways to our gold, and guess what? It is finally time
Hey, Mr. Diaz.
to perform our ritual. Yes.
Is it time?
Um,
Have you contacted home base? Got to contact home base. Step 1, do not let the old and new spells overlap.
Yes. Also, just as a meta comment,
The Metacon.
we got no more money left. You better make that DC real low. Anyway,
That DC is gonna be real high. 'Cause
All
what you're
I'm
trying to
gonna
do
be-
is real hard.
All
But
I'm
you
going
both
to be
have
saying
plus
is,
fives.
if you want to sleep good at night,
I'm like,
All I'm saying is,
John
I'm
knows
a
where you
lock-
live.
the door gonna get locked, and we pulling out the Glock because I self protect. So you try anything, we'll see what happens.
Do I
I
have
will-
to give help
waiting
before
under
they
your car.
do I have to choose who I'm helping before they start, or do
You
I?
can help both.
Can I? Okay.
It's not too involved. You can't help either because you're just jumping back and forth between them. Malachi, you have to babysit a bit once it gets going. But FS, it's easy to glance and check his work. So,
Okay.
all right. Rain is just going to be chilling outside the radius here. Uriah will probably just be with her. Vesper's going to be inspecting on our playing field here. And yeah. I'm going to start laying down the groundwork here.
Before we start the spell, I'm going to do two things. Number one, I'm going to take some time. He had said he would notify us when he was in position.
Yes. He waited until he thinks you guys were ready, and then you hear us and he says, Malachi, we've located the origin. I'm ready to go.
I'm going to tell him to give me about 20 minutes before he begins.
All right.
And I'm going to make a perimeter.
Yep. He responds quickly. Perfect. I will contact Vesper in 20 as not to disturb you.
Okay. And I'm going to use alarm.
Yep.
Just to set up a perimeter. If anything happens.
How much of a perimeter can you set up with alarm?
I'll be like 100.
It says 20-foot cube.
Okay.
Yikes.
So I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna color this. So that's 10 feet. So 20-foot cube is this. So this is now your spell casting area is right here.
Wow.
In this 20-foot cube. You and FS are in it, and Vesper can probably be inside the cube because the actual area you only need is probably 10 feet. 10 feet.
And then I'm going to
Alarm, you can designate who goes in and out without setting it off.
Yes, that is true as well.
Yeah.
All right.
None of you will trigger it. I just need everyone else on the outside to be ready to attack if nothing can. Yeah.
All right. So,
Uh,
Rain will just position herself nearby. Dryo will kind of be at whatever side is closest to you, and Grouger, you can float wherever you want. Grouger, sorry. Got to do the air quotes. All right. You know what time it is. It is time for Arcana and Sleight of Hand rolls, respectively.
I'm very quickly casting Armor of Agathis.
I got an 18 with the +5.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Wait,
Arcana.
what does Jacob helping do?
Jacob is
I'm giving
inspecting
advantage.
you. So yes, you both just get advantage on these rolls.
Okay, let me.
Because Vesper has been
All right, much better.
extremely
26.
attentive. Vesper catches Malachi lacking and intervenes. All of this started
lacking.
All of this started with the oil, as you recall, which was the most stressful aspect, and that went fine, you think, but you're messing some of the stuff up. Vesper catches you, roll again. Okay.
What was it?
I haven't seen it yet.
It hasn't come up.
He already rolled with advantage. Never mind.
Wait, the 13 was advantage.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Gentlemen, buckle up. So, during the casting of the spell, it was extremely taxing on Malachi to get every step in succession chained together. First was the anointing process. It was uncomfortable and unrehearsed. While he had the words and he knew what to say and he spoke Elvish, it was the only time you really got to do a full run through of it. It's essentially a prayer, an apologetic prayer, asking for himself to be made clean so that he can become a vessel for this form of magic in which he's going to partake. You never really got an answer as to whether that's a part of the spell or whether that's a ritual that Vitris is enforcing on you because it's tradition. You're praying that it's just the former and not the latter because it didn't go great.
Since I'm praying, can I add religion as a roll?
Go ahead and add a religion check, yes.
Yeah.
See how you're faring after your anointing because you were not comfortable.
Hey guys, sorry about wasting all our money. Okay, cool. Yep. I thought 9.
You're not feeling great about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not the
Mm-hmm.
best. Not the best.
Gotcha.
Um,
Gotcha. Love that for us.
You're running through the motions, and you are struggling to chain things together. You're getting the segments, but the links are incredibly important because the links between the different segments of the verbal and somatic components are the links between the material plane rune that FS has, Feywild rune that you're on. And so forming that bridge to get the gold into the hourglass has not gone smoothly. There are no time constraints, in a sense, so you can take time to try to remeter yourself and slow down and remember what you need to do, but there's no reversing, so all you can do is pump the brakes to try to regain your composure.
Question.
Hold your concentration. Yes.
I would try
Since I'm doing really well over my end,
Yes.
am I too like busy in what I'm doing to look over and be like, Malachi, you got to do that? From what little I might have picked up when I was at the other place.
You could give him one more set of advantage since you're done now to try to guide him. It's just difficult because you don't want to break his concentration, but I'll let him roll one more time while he's catching his pace and getting advice from you two, because it's pretty much now all riding on Malachi.
So not only
More time.
You're getting one more roll a la FS.
but not advantage.
No. Because the advantage was you, Vesper, and now this third one is FS.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm rolling. And what I'm ruling.
Okay. No, that's fine. Here we go. 22.
Okay, that's better. You slow down, you regain your composure, and you recall and clearly enunciate what you need to do to bridge the material and the Feywild. And in the most important step, with the hourglass in the middle, currently empty, this is a big hourglass, by the way, the gold begins to dissolve and flow into the hourglass. At this point, it has gone quiet. Now becomes the marathon level of this spell. Because now it's all a matter of timing. So...
Concentration checks.
Not yet.
Okay.
But, how do I get, like, fast? No, I want, like, a fast ticking clock.
Oh, great. There's ambiance.
I'm gonna add ambiance, yes.
Oh, Lord.
So you have an internal metronome going in your head in the spell that's cueing you as to the time that you're lining up. As the gold dissolves into the hourglass and falls through, the quantity of sand that you're letting through is going to determine the shift of the scales. And you've studied this, you know what you need to target, and now it's time for someone else to get the silk ready, which if you would like, that can be Dariah. At this point, all you need to do is hone in with a ritual knife and cut the silk at the right moment to stop the clock, metaphorically, and lock in the bridge between the worlds. But this is the lengthy process of the spell that requires a lot of concentration. There's nothing FS or Vesper can do anymore to help you. It's just Dryas standing by on your cue while the gold filters into the hourglass. Who's got the highest passive perception?
Vesper.
20. 20.
Uh-huh.
Vesper.
Let me tell you, FS has half of that.
Well, the good news is it's not going to take a genius to identify this. Anyone with a passive perception of 12 or higher can identify a shifting in the wind in a concentrated area as well. It's always been windy here. Malachi is deep in focus, and so he needs to like close his eyes and see a vision of the hourglass in order to get ready for the thread to be cut. So he's in full focus mode, and Dariah is completely tending to him. Which means it's FS, Vesper, Rain, and Groger who are actually like actively perceiving what's around them. A concentrated gust of wind begins circling, nigh slithering the spell-casting square. It seems to approach the border. I don't think Rain doesn't notice it. Approaches the border and then halts and flickers back and forth. But it's like you're watching wind circle you. You can only tell because the long grass is being thrust across. And it's fairly fast. It moves freely and smoothly.
If it breaches the alarm, I've designated that we all will hear.
Okay. It has not breached the alarm, but it's
Can
circling like a shark.
Can I nudge Rain and point at it?
And she'll notice it and go, "That's not just wind, is it?"
What is that?
I don't think so.
Oh
Right.
no.
He pulls out a pair of scimitars and just gets ready. Slowly
Right there.
checks over to Roger. What are you doing?
Roger, they're gonna attack you.
FS, it's your call too. You see this as well.
Oh, I see it?
Yes, you do. And well, what is your passive perception? I guess I would have to
10.
ask. Oh, okay. And you don't, and that, yeah, fair enough. You don't see it. I think Roger would probably see it.
No, FS is probably the spell that's taking place.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So Rain tries to get Grouge's attention and FS's attention, and the wind flickers back and forth. At this point, everyone pretty much has seen it. But all of a sudden, it dies down. You don't know where it went. It's like it sprinted away. You lost track of it. None of you can see it anymore. Just as FS was alerted to it, it's gone. Same with Grouger if he hasn't seen it. Rain doubles back to the other end of the circle and tries to circle Malachi. Drya quietly asks Rain, which Malachi can kind of hear, is something wrong? And Rain says, wind. Wind with teeth.
Oh,
Not good at metaphors, but this sounds like what the bird was talking about.
I'm tuning that out.
Make a concentration saving. Actually, make a wisdom saving throw.
Really?
Yeah.
Literally not concentration.
No. Make wisdom first.
Oh, who's
Nope.
making...
7.
You're frightened. You don't know of what yet, but you know of what you've heard. And if the source of your fear is revealed, you're going to need to have an intense bout of focus and concentration. Right now, you're just trying to focus, but you can feel your heart pounding a lot faster than it was before. You're not even halfway through what you need to do. Nobody has been able to identify if the creature is still circling. Unless, of course, no one has made a perception check, but...
I'm gonna while I'm concentrating.
Huh?
I don't know. I'm concentrating. I can't do too much.
Can't do too much. Hands are tied. The sands...
FS will take a look around even though he's still confused as to
Yep.
what was happening.
Make perception check. The sands of gold are still
got an
slowly
18.
trickling down.
Should-
You do not
can I-
see anything. Yes, Vesper. Anyone is free to make perception checks at this time. Pretty much with the exception of Malachi.
28.
Vesper, you see it. And
I have
it
plus
is
10.
incredibly well hidden. It is extremely slowed down. And Rain doubles back to you and says, "It's right there." You both see it, shockingly. It stops. The wind ceases.
I'm gonna step between it and Malachi.
Roll initiative.
Cool.
Ooh, all of us?
That's how initiative works.
Yes.
I
All
don't
of you.
trust this guy.
Every single one. Buck still ticks.
15.
15 for Malachi.
I got a 21.
21 for FS.
15.
Okay.
Are you gonna roll for Drya?
I will roll for Drya.
Or is she helping me with the spell? So no.
Drya is largely helping you and also protecting you, so I'm just gonna make her initiative yours.
Okay.
She's your wife, so you can move at the same time. The only person I'll have Vesper, what'd you get on a document? So I can't see.
It went off my screen. 14.
14. All right. This is going to be fun. FS, you're up first, but there's a problem. You don't see it. So you can take your actions as you will. You saw Vesper strategically move in front of Malachi. But
Yo,
other
Marco,
than that, it is your
has to
call
say
what you're gonna.
polo.
It's your call to say what you're gonna do.
Does Vesper look like he's looking at something?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'll loop around to like in front of Vesper, north of the square.
Like here.
Yeah, there.
All right, got it. You run up, ready to fight, not seeing what Vesper's seeing.
I got my staff at the ready.
Or anything else you'd like
Or
to
my
do?
spear. No.
See a flash
Wait.
of the wind. Okay, yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
You could ready an action to attack if you see something in
True.
range.
Can do that.
I will cast shield.
All right.
That's a reaction.
That is
It
when you
is?
get
I
attacked.
see. It says 1R. Okay, I misread it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see how that works now. Okay, never mind.
All right. You see a flash of wind. The grass
Oh, very
rushes
fair,
forward,
right?
and charging Vesper is whatever has been designated as the hunter.
Oh no. So now all the ringing in my head.
Boom! The alarm has been triggered. Everyone hears it. Malachi, make a concentration saving throw.
Well, forget about it. We're done.
10. Does a 16 hit Vesper?
No.
Ignore
I
armor.
got a 9 for my concentration.
Yes. A 16? Yes.
And so it begins. You feel like a dagger is shoved through your chest, ignoring and not penetrating your armor, but going driving straight through your flesh. You take 8 plus 3, 11 piercing damage. And just before you are released, you feel like you are being grabbed and choked. Make an acrobatics or an athletics test to contest a grapple.
Okay. 25.
You are successfully avoiding of the grapple, and you are not contained by it.
Okay. I'm using my what's it called?
Aim?
Evasion to have the damage.
Okay.
Or
Alright.
it's not uncanny dodge. There you go.
Okay, got it. Roger is up
Wait,
next.
I can see it, right?
You still can, yes. And pretty much
Okay.
now everyone can.
Because it's an attack where you can see. So.
Good poke it.
Rain is going to do the same thing.
Or more accurately, I'm like gonna like walk up to the area where it like kind of looks like it is, and just like
Yep.
swing the dagger
You
wildly.
can see it now. You can see it. Now that it's made its move, it is clear. It has a vaguely distinct, pearlescent, transparent form. It's like glowing in the wind.
It looks like a hot dog.
No. What it looks like is an elemental of the air. Something that, depending on a history check, you may be able to actually identify. But, that's another problem. Rain does a total of 9 damage,
Oh, I
but
forgot
that
there was the
actually
damage.
becomes 4 damage.
But what if I did 6 damage?
What type?
Piercing.
Yeah, we're gonna make that a 3. The creature is completely undisturbed as you swipe through the air. The daggers and rain scimitars just slash straight through it, and you're just unperturbed by your hits. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
What the heck is going on?
I would take that as a no. Malachi, did you make your con save?
I failed. It was a 9.
Unfortunate. The sands of time begin to disintegrate, and where you are locked in, the spell prematurely ends. Your opportunity is twofold. You can either end the spell and lose the gold that has been consumed thus far, or you can finish the spell in whatever offset it's currently at by severing the silk. You cannot recover the gold that has already been burned. You can recover the gold that hasn't been burned. So basically your options are end the spell prematurely, or finish the spell so that you have something. Your call.
Isn't that the same thing?
It's not. If he ends the spell prematurely, nothing happens, but you can't recover the gold and you have to start all over again. And the gold that's lost is just lost. If he chooses to finish the spell by severing the silk, the spell is actually complete and the ritual is done.
Well, we lose the gold either way, so...
Okay, so really quickly,
Yeah, I'm kind of confused.
I'm just wondering, is there any way, like, because this is now moving in like 6 seconds and stuff.
Yes, this is
Is
a
there
split-second
any way-
decision.
So I'm wondering, is there any way I could like try to like quickly like resume or no?
Not with a failed con save, no.
Okay.
Your options are just have an unfinished spell and you lose gold, or finish the spell in whatever state it's in currently.
And I'm gonna try to finish it.
Alright, you're severing the silk.
Wait, can I know how much gold we used already?
Does
can.
finishing it use the rest of the gold?
No. It only uses what has currently been burned.
Okay,
So
how
we
much-
get part of the gold back either way, right?
Yeah.
So what's
Okay,
point
so
of
the
doing
only
first one?
difference is in whether he finishes...
So here's the reality of the situation.
In one
If-
of them, the spell works, but only like half or whatever, and then in the other situation, the spell does not work. Either way, we lose what gold was already consumed.
Well, we don't
Yeah.
know how much was used yet, so that's why I'm
Yeah.
wondering.
You could roll perception to try to perceive that and factor into your decision before you have to end the spell.
That's
Secure
not-
the staple.
It's a 13.
It looks like you've burned through about 100 pieces of the gold thus far.
Alright, I'm going to... I'll just end it and start over.
Okay, so you end the spell without severing the silk, and you lose 100 gold, but you have the ability to recast it and ensure that the timing is lined up. In which case, you can now enter the fray of your disturber. Yeah, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
This wind better have 100 gold on it.
I guess I'm pissed, so I'm gonna hex it.
Okay.
Um, And-
Block sound.
I have to choose one ability. I guess it kind of tried. I'm gonna do strength checks. Disadvantage on all of those.
Yep. Sure.
That was a bonus action. Do I still get an action or no?
I'll say no, because you had a huge decision to make in a short period of time. But I'll give you
problem.
bonus action.
Yeah.
Vesper.
Alright, I'll just attack it
Okay.
with the katana I got from Mizoram,
Nice.
one of the katanas. Does a 15 hit?
It does.
Alright, I'll get sneak attack because there's an enemy of the creature near it. What's 28 slashing damage.
All slashing?
Whatever sneak attack is, I'm assuming.
Alright, yeah, the sneak attack just clones whatever damage
Yep.
being done. 28, so that becomes 14, which leaves it there. That one did hurt, but it is not so much hurt as it is now more pissed at you. FS. Unless you want to do something else, Vesper.
Oh, bonus action. I'll give, I'll give Malachi, advantage on his next attack
Okay.
with my mastermind maneuver. thing.
Mm-hmm.
Master of Tactics. Yep, and then that's it.
FS.
Alright, so how does magic missile work?
You point it at the thing and then it hits it automatically. You just roll damage.
Alright, so it says 3 darts.
Yep.
A dart does 1d4 plus 1, so I gotta roll
3
times.
plus 3, basically.
Okay.
Just roll damage 3 times.
Yeah.
It's so you can split the darts to hit other people, but you're only aiming at one target.
Yep.
I'm cast at the 2nd level, so I'll do this 4 times.
Yep.
Ooh, big boy.
I got
This is actually going to be huge.
a 5, a 2, a 4,
It's 11.
and a 5.
That is 16 damage, all of which impacts severely on the creature, and it is not pleased with that. That is the most damage it has taken.
It would have been 20 because he didn't add the plus. Oh no, never mind. That's
Yeah, I did,
included.
I did.
Never mind.
Yep. All right. You just pissed it royally off. Rain hits 1 time with the scimitar for a total of 9 damage, which becomes 4 damage. But the Creatura is immediately going to target you, attempting to stab you in the chest. That's definitely going to hit. It's over a 20. It's
Who, me?
going to deal a total of 9 piercing damage.
Oh.
In addition to that, it is going to attempt 2 slam attacks. Does a 14 hit excluding your armor? I think it will.
Armor's
Maybe
with
not.
with armor 16. How do I? Okay.
If you
I'll take
unequip your armor, it'll calculate
it does hit.
Yeah. Although why? Oh, yeah, you only have 1 dex. Look at that. Ooh. Yeah, that definitely hits. And then the second one also hits. So 1 stab straight through the chest, and then 2 slams. One of which deals, it looks like 5 bludgeoning damage.
He's dead.
Okay. The other, he's down.
Yeah.
The other which
I
deals
wanted-
5 damage. Now,
He's
the
down.
question is he dead? Because he took.
I have
How much?
11 hit points.
Okay. If he takes less than 22, he's still alive. The first hit did 9, correct? That's what I said?
Yeah.
And then the second hit did 5, and then the other hit, I think, did 5. So, with 3 hit points to spare, you have not been instantly killed.
Well, if they're different hits, then he would go down after the second hit and then take a death save.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
An automatic.
Okay. Well, then they are different hits. In which case, did he go down on the second hit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you just take 1 death save on that second dash. Alright, but that ends the creature's turn. It is now Groudry.
I got 20 on my death save.
Nice.
That means you're up.
That
You
actually
don't-
does mean you get up. Yeah, he's
You
just,
don't roll for it; you just take a failure. But then he would get up on his next
Uh,
turn.
He would get
That's
up
how
on
that
his
works.
next turn. That's fine.
I see. I
Just save
see.
the roll. There's no reason to throw away a 20. Perfectly
Yep.
good. Alright, Groudry.
I did 1,000,000.
You did 1,000,000 damage? That would kill it. But
It gets halved. Sorry.
you have sneak
too-
attack?
Yeah,
You've been using sneak attack?
I didn't the first time, but I guess I can do it now.
Probably should. 3 damage.
Definitely should. While we're all standing here, basking in the glorious failure.
Yeah, see, that's
That's
a lot
like
of sneak
6
attack.
or something.
That's like 25 divided by 2 is 12.
Yeah, that's like 6.
Mm-hmm. Alright, the creature is starting to look beat up. Some of its pearlescent parts are fading into the wind. It's not too happy about it. Malachi.
So Malachi's like breathing extremely heavily from the strain of the spell.
Yep.
Plus, he's just really pissed right now.
Yep.
So his eyes, he's gonna stretch his hand out. It's gonna start glowing like really green. His eyes are gonna go black, and I'm gonna cast Chill Touch. And he said I have advantage on this.
Yeah. I'm giving you the help action essentially.
All right. Well, I got a nat 20 and
Nice.
a 1.
Okay. Take the net 20.
So I'm gonna do 48 of damage,
Nice.
which was 20.
Nice.
Which was all necrotic damage.
Yep. That's gonna hurt it.
And then because of Hex, I do an extra 1d6 damage as well. Which is 1, but yeah.
It is very weakened. The necrotic damage seems incredibly effective as it loses more of its pearlescent hue. You can see what looks like a face emerge as it's dissolved by the necrotic damage, and it loses one of its eyes in the shadow of the wind sweeping around its
Hold on. That was just one action, right?
Yep.
So I still have movement.
Yep, and bonus action.
I'm gonna run up, and because of the weapon that I have, I think I can do it. Yep, I can make an attack as a bonus action with the same nerve speed.
You can do that.
Okay. Does a 13 hit?
It does not.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
All right, Vesper.
Same as the last time. 18 to hit.
Yep.
And then big old pile of slashing damage. 24.
24 becomes 12. Actually, let's go in this zone. Anything else?
And then I will give my bonus action advantage to I'll just give it to Malachi again because he's casting, and that's
Alright.
good.
The creature is very unhappy, but seeing that it is surrounded, has few choices. Instead, what it's going to attempt to do is grapple Malachi. You hex it so it has disadvantage on strength checks, is that correct?
Yep.
Alright, so rolling with disadvantage, it still rolls an 18 grapple.
I'm gonna do an acrobatics check.
You can. It's your choice of acrobatics or athletics.
Nat 20.
Alright, it's going to try to grapple again. At disadvantage, it rolls a 10.
Bang, oh dang.
15.
Alright, with no further options and pissed, it attempts to slam Malachi just in the face and gets 6 bludgeoning damage off on him before attempting to send itself into a whirlwind as a protection mechanism, but it has nowhere to go. Unless it provokes opportunity attack from literally 5 people. So, it's not going to do that. Which actually means we're back to... FS did roll a nat 20, so FS is up.
So he's up, and not just
He's up,
not
up,
actually.
one hit point.
1 HP.
Yep. Rain did not get any swipes successfully at her, which means it's FS and then rather than Malachi. So FS, what's the deal?
Is it his turn to roll a death save though?
It was. Oh yeah, that's right. It is, which means he gets up, but he doesn't do anything, right?
Right. Okay.
Never mind. So he's awake to witness what's about to happen. Roger and Malachi, your turns. Technically, Roger's first because of higher dex.
Mm-hmm.
So
Whoops, ignore that roll. That was the wrong button. Alright, well, I guess we
that's
can...
it. Now I can factor that in.
Alright. Do this. Did it die?
Becomes
Oh, wait, hold on for a second. I'm sorry. He tried to hit me how many times?
once. He tried to
Once.
grapple you twice and he hit you once.
Alright, so he took cold damage from me from my Armor of Agathis.
Oh, that's true.
He took 5 points of cold damage.
That's the number that you need to kill him. So that's it. He's going to freeze to death. At the time that Grodger stabs him, the ice damage from the armor of Agathis freezes some of his pearlescent arms, dagger-like hands, built out of shining, strange matter, unsure of what, glistening in the wind. And fake Grodger takes the opportunity to completely slice it up as it's brittle from the cold, and it shatters into pieces, melts, and scatters into the wind. The beast is slain.
I was wrong. It's, oops. Oh,
Yeah,
it's at the start of your turn that you roll the death save, so he could have gone, but
Oh, I
that's
see.
my bad.
All is
Sorry.
well.
You fool.
I know.
Victor is dead.
You probably could have killed it with your magic.
Dry immediately.
Yeah,
Dry
you can just
immediately
admit
says,
that you were
"Darling, are
jealous
you all
of
right?"
FS's amazing skills and you just didn't want to see him play
I-
anymore.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was feeling kind of impotent because all my damage was getting halved and
All right,
his one
shush.
was.
I'm talking to Malachi.
Sorry,
Malachi's wife is talking.
I'm all right. We have to start the spell again immediately.
Yes. All right.
Do we want to pitch in our gold that we saved to make up for the lost?
Yeah, we should put in the extra.
I'm willing to pitch in my 5. I'm not.
Have a
Yeah,
new
let's
idea.
get all of it.
All right. Dry says, "FS, you hold the silk.
I'm
I have other
oh,
plans."
I'm gonna go over to FS and I'm gonna say, "You fought very well." And my hands start glowing, and he heals 7 points.
Ah.
Excellent. Dry
He was
immediately
like a puddle on
begins
the floor.
meticulously erecting vines, strong wooden tree vines, completely surround the area.
Yo, we inside the Deku tree now.
Yeah. She's attempting to make a dome, but after she completes the perimeter, it's taking her quite some time. Says, "I don't think there's enough energy here. Completely encapsulated. That's the best I could do. Would have done it earlier, but I didn't know if it would help.
It's all right. It's
I'm sorry, I should have known better. I knew something was off about this."
time to start the spell again.
Alright. At this point, Vesper receives a message from Garfield. It says, "Vesper, it's Garfield. I'm ready to go if you are over there."
So he knew that we failed, or
No, not at all. He's saying he's ready to pull the trigger. If you're ready to pull the trigger.
Tell him to keep
I'll
it
say
going.
we ran into a bit of trouble. We have to start over on our end. Are you able to hold on over there?
I can, yes. No rush. I am ready. I will call back in 10 minutes.
Was that about how long it took?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. I'll let you know.
Alright. Here we go. Border has been erected. Rain is peeking through, attempting to be more vigilant. Roger FS has now been tasked with holding the string. Dry is attempting to watch the perimeter, circle the vines. FS
Okay,
shoots
so
straight
he
ahead.
doesn't have to. He doesn't have to restart.
He doesn't.
Okay.
It is now on you with the Arcana rolls.
Yeah. Do I get to roll with advantage again?
You do, because you were already in the motions. And now that was basically another practice run, as much as it sucked. Pretty much in the point now.
Yeah. Okay.
You're in the zone.
I am in the zone. 22.
22. Alright. You begin your preparations again, re-anointing yourself with the oil, just in case, walking yourself through the runes. Take some time, you set aside the gold that you have again, making sure it's set up, the hourglass has been emptied, and you begin making the first metaphorical bridge between your rune, Feywild, and FS's rune on the material plane. After you run through the verbal and somatic components, Vesper has no corrections for you, nor does FS. This time, it was nailed. After 3 or 4 minutes of that, finally establish in your mind the bridge between the Feywild and the material plane, and now you need to modify the properties of the bridge. So you have FS, ready the silk, the representation, and you begin the incantation to transfer the gold into the hourglass to function as the sand. This time things go a little bit quicker. You're more familiar with the wording. You're also trying to make sure that that crap doesn't happen again. You're going kind of fast, but you're very careful to enunciate your words clearly and not take any shortcuts. Doing it briskly, with confidence. And that seems to be almost better. You're saying the spell with more authority than you were before, where you were a little more cautious, trying not to mess anything up. But now it's go time. You authoritatively bridge all of the gold into the hourglass, which means now it's now or never. And it's just now a question of waiting for that right time where the bridges line up what you desire. And so time begins to pass, fully concentrated, just watching the gold sand fall from the hourglass, tick by tick, grain by grain. You know that as the hourglass passes, the amount of time that you're lining up changes exponentially. Because you're trying to get this to be a fairly substantial shift in time, timing it's going to be difficult because you're going to be further along that exponential curve, which means you need to get it down to the grain of sand, essentially. Focusing on that flow, making sure that you have a slow, steady pace set up of draining now, with the properties of the hourglass tuned to what you need. You slowly, methodically drain it to the bottom as the bridge begins to shift in time. After about 9 minutes, you're getting close. Perform an incantation to slow the pace of the sand, change the speed at which the bridge is being modified, or you lock it in. FS is ready with the string and you begin pulling the ritual knife. At that point, Vesper again hears a voice in his head. We're here at 10 minutes. Is Malachi looking ready? Is it done?
It's looking pretty close.
60 seconds?
Right.
It is looking very close.
The 60
Malachi's
seconds
like
seem about right.
raising the dagger slowly, like ready to go.
Does 60 seconds seem correct?
Roll insight.
20, not nat.
60 seems on the money.
60 seems good.
All right. In 60 seconds, we'll be done.
This guy's burning a lot of spell slots on sending.
Yes, he is. Is. Better to burn them now and not have any regrets. This is an important spell. So, gets down to 30 seconds. Things are passing by quickly for you all on the outside, but for Malachi, it's as if time itself slows down. The first 30 seconds pass by fairly quickly, and as it gets closer, the next 10 seconds pass by slower. Next 10 seconds even slower, to the point where you're down in the final 10 seconds. All of you experiencing time linearly, Malachi is completely honed in, down to observing the grain of sand mark the time of the bridge, and physically see the gap, knowing that it approaches 12 grains of sand away, 11 away, getting to the last 3 seconds, where time has nearly crawled to a standstill. Malachi is sweating profusely. What has actually taken him 10 minutes feels more like it's taking him an hour. And the very last second, an hour in and of itself. Pure concentration, watching the grains fall. The knife at this point is nearly pressed against the silk, ready to cut it. And at that final tick, the knife slides through the silk. It's slit, and the hourglass freezes. The sand is locked in place. The gold shines with the brilliance of the sun, partially blinding you all. And you can feel a wave of energy splash over you. The ground shakes briefly, and then suddenly everything calms down. Light returns to a normal, cold, dead white that was the sky that you witnessed before you. And the spell is complete. All gold dissolved, runes intact on the floor. Malachi, you open your eye. It is done.
I'm gonna like drop to my knees.
Yep.
And like pant for air. Like, Vesper, how much did we cover?
Well, so did
When
FS and Malachi put in their saved fives as well,
Yes.
or only me?
Probably.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. We didn't really count the gold after your first failed one, but
What I
should
can
be.
tell you is when the light went out after the flash, you saw the golden light of the gold dust like cover it, like it was a wave covering out the land, and it went basically to the horizon. Your point of view. It covered like everything.
I think it covered a good amount. I'm worried that we didn't hit the archives or Vitrus's farm, but we'll have to find out.
So, we're at 12. But before we end, I have 2 pieces of good news that I am sure are words you've been dying to hear for a long time. FS,
Sure.
you level up.
Why?
Malachi, you level up.
Malachi actually loses a level.
Yeah, he's been drained of the energy. It's all gone. It's all downhill
Big
from here.
man. Big
Ooh, I
level
can get a
man over
feat.
here. Look
I
at
can get a little
him.
funny feet.
Yeah.
Oh, you can increase your ability scores.
I'm proud of FS.
Level 2.
If you did an ability score increase, you could get your intelligence up to 18, and then either your strength or charisma up as well. Up to 14, which would increase the bonus.
Alright. I think we should
Or
probably...
get a funny, like, spellcasting feat.
Okay, real quick question.
Uh-huh.
Is there any way
Uh-huh.
our characters don't have to know?
Uh-huh.
But how much money did we actually use in the spell?
All of it that you put in, minus the 100 that you lost the first time.
So it was
How much-
300.
We lost 100?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty
Okay.
much. I mean, I guess we can say, to give you a specific number. We'll say you lost like... 85.
That's not bad. Plus the 15 that we put back in. So, yeah, we lost 70. So we lost 7 miles of range.
Does that still get everybody?
It should. I mean, so right at the edges, I think Vitrus's farm will be fine. The archives, we may have lost a little bit, and then the elven capital, that would have maybe lost a little bit. I mean, you can look. I posted another picture where you can see the center where we are, and then the edges.
Okay, but that was really cool. Like the whole, that was really cool. But also, I have stress now.
Well, I'm gonna wrap the recording there, since this was definitely one of the longer sessions we've had in quite some time. Our intrepid band of Feywild adventurers, I think at 3:30, wrapped up the spell. 3:30 is the time to beat for the group on the Cairo Plateau.
Okay,
We
that's
may
Get
find
it done.
out. We may find out how they fared should Brendan arrive to us next week.
come on.
Until
But you just sent a
then.
message.